Yeah,
That's true. You do got me.
Get over here, Marcus. Let me look at you. They don't want it.
Tobin and Leroy, ready to deploy. Had to hit it with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. Better have about me, boy. Okay, Leroy and Tobin, hold to the show, man. Still in the stars with the show, and till then his half moon open. Sometimes go taste like a snowman. No proof I'm alive better more than no proof. Like I always wanted him, I never hated him, I never traded him, and if I did, I never ever traded him. You know what is a star? Like under the city, the driver's side floor. Gucci a large, so many more. 10 in the more, never a bar. 10 in the more, 2 to the P. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. Handsome as ever and cute as can be. You can watch us on YouTube and view it for free. This one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time, what they gonna do next?
You know, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
Hey. Can we just talk Panthers? I know you guys want to you guys want to bash me and yell at me, and I have everybody just yelling at me saying this is all my fault, and you guys just want my pain, you want my suffering, you want me to rant. Can we just talk Panthers, baby?
Go Cats, go.
Top hats and monocles on Wednesday.
Woo!
Top hats and monocles.
4 goals in 22 seconds.
I don't know if
that might have been the craziest stretch of hockey I've ever seen. When they scored 2, and then the Panthers did in the third period.
Such an odd feeling yesterday because when I went down, I want to say it was like, trying to remember what point of the game that I think it was like an Isaac Okoro 3-ball. And I'm like, you know what? It's 116-65. I think they're not going to get back in this game. So I went down to the press room, and as I'm watching the Panthers, and as I'm walking in, Ekblad scores. I'm like, yeah! Thankfully, we had the Cats on in the press room. So we got to watch.
You know what's the state of the basketball game when all around the stadium people are cheering for hockey.
And it is what it is. That game, I got to be honest with you. I'm surprised that the building didn't empty out by halftime. I'm surprised with how many people stuck around to watch that. And I think it was just because I think everybody was just in stunned disbelief with how bad it was. Because look, no one's gonna say the Miami Heat were anywhere in the weight class or zip code of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Except you.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
Don't make things up. But Leroy, to lose by 37 points.
It's terrible.
It was a franchise record. And then you come back a mere 48 hours later, only to dwarf that record and lose by 55.
Remember we made fun of Memphis?
We are Memphis. We're worse than Memphis. Memphis didn't lose back-to-back 30s. Yeah. We did something never done in the history of basketball.
Yep.
Never. And I think everybody was just probably stunned sitting in their seats because even the season ticket holders have to think to themselves, imagine being a Heat season ticket holder. You go to every playoff game. You've gone to the last 8 Miami Heat home playoff games. And you have not come back victorious. You have donned your white hot garb.
I think that's the craziest stat of them all. When the Heat have been in the playoffs most of the time and you haven't experienced a home win in 8
Haven't done it in the Heat. Not since game 3 of the 2023 Eastern Conference Finals. And this season, my God, what a bleep show. The longest losing streak of Erik Spoelstra's career. Jimmy Butler Molotov cocktail out of the building. And I mean, they were done. When did you think it was done? Was it 90 seconds into the game? Because Erik Spoelstra
called 2 timeouts before we got halfway through the first
He
quarter.
couldn't wait to yank Kalel. He's like, get out of here. What about feeding through a fire hose, baby?
Fire hose is clogged up.
sent his ass and those cheeks, those tall cheeks, right to the bench.
Which
And who
made
did-
it, which, by the way, made it worse because they got giants on their team.
Oh, hello, Jennifer.
Yeah. Today is just
Oh,
hello.
she'll get on when she gets on.
Okay. That's heat depression.
Like Khalil Ware got like jumped by Jared Allen. Jared Allen was acting like the glove against Khalil Ware. And Spo's like, enough of this. I think Spo would have taken post Max Whiteside over Khalil Ware last night. He couldn't wait to bench him. Had no belief in him, only had him out there for duty, didn't have him out there in the second half.
And
Benched him.
then when he put Whiteside in, would have looked at Khalil and said, nobody's doing it with blocks.
Yeah. Like that's how infuriated he was.
But here's the deal. As much as you want to, streets need a body, let's get Khalil out of there.
It was everybody.
It didn't help putting Bam at the 5.
No.
That made
Bam.
it worse.
Bam. Hey, thanks for your good 3 quarters in this series. I mean, you got dish ragged by Evan Mobley. I mean, everybody did, but you did.
I mean, he is defensive player of the year.
Okay, dude, but like, come on. I mean, all of a sudden he's Dirk Nowitzki, Bam Adebayo. I love the Bam 3 as much as the next guy did. The guy was allergic to the paint. Didn't even try.
Yep.
And I mean, what like
The
you
only guy,
spent more energy barking at your teammates on where they had to be. Go, you do what you got to do. Lock somebody up. There's so much finger pointing and blaming.
I was one of the things that I was like the only guy that I'm like, you know what, give him the ball every time is Davion.
Oh, yeah.
Like, give him like Tyler, go stand.
How is a guy and Nico, like, has the guy
and Nico?
who just came back from a broken hand?
What did he end up with?
24.
And that's only because
But it was not an inefficient 24.
no.
But he was the only guy who tried. And he just came back 2 months ago. And Tyler.
Well, I'm the one thing that I'll say about
What do you want to say about him?
the one
What
thing
do you
that
wanna
I'll
say?
say about that.
What do you want to
is-
say about him?
Oof.
Is this okay? 4 years. What we are getting ready to say about Tyler, we said about Spider. And that when it got to that, he didn't either come through or he had bad or he was trying to do or
Mm-mm.
whatever. I'm just telling you.
Mm-mm.
I'm just telling you.
Mm-mm.
I'm telling you.
Well, you're not right. Nobody
What?
said that about Spider.
Sure.
Come on, dude. Spider went
Okay.
to a Western Conference Finals
Okay.
in his 3rd season.
So did Tyler.
Come
on.
With doing what? Sitting on the bench with his cast?
Okay. He got hurt in the playoffs.
The first game.
That's when they went to the finals.
Yes.
All right.
Nice try though.
I'm telling you.
And by the way, come on. Like Spider was the man on that team. Like Tyler Herro, even in the year before that, was struggling in the postseason.
All right. I'm just saying, like, I get everybody's upset.
As we should be.
Yes.
But Leroy, as we should be.
Yes.
This organization, they have set the standard. Championship bust, winning or misery. And this is what they've become. Misery.
Yep.
Records. Infamy.
Yeah.
Stained. Shame. And this Erik Spoelstra is like sitting here afterwards and he's like, what a beautiful flight it was from the play-in game to Cleveland. Who are you, dude? Who is that? What happened to lose at the buzzer? We want to tip this off right now. Now all of a sudden you're writing Hallmark cards for the play-in flight? This is what he's doing yesterday.
I mean, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
This is an honest question.
Mhm.
What were you expecting from a team that was 5 games?
Not to lose by 55.
Okay.
Not to be in the record books. Because you want to know something? all they've said, this organization has said, we're going to compete. We're going to try. We're going to give it our all. We got a lot. All I hear from him, we got a lot of guys in there with pride. Was that pride last night? Is that pride? Losing by a double nickel? Is that pride? After you lost by 37. It can happen once. Leroy, professionals, twice. You've said pride games before, right? Even talented. You will say they got NBA players too. 37 and 55-point losses, dude. Come on. Not even you can put a shine on that.
I mean, listen.
You can lose back-to-back 20s.
No.
Lose by.
It's embarrassing, but ask yourself this: are they that much better than the Heat? Yeah. I would say, like, put it this way: they lost a game where they played one of their best games of the year. That's when I knew, oh my goodness.
But you can lose that game, like you lose the way you lose in game one, and you're like in it. There's a little bit, but it's a 20 piece, or they dust away at the end. Fine. You didn't even walk on the court.
At one point, I looked at the score. Here's when I knew it was hockey time. You want to know when I knew it was hockey time? 30-8.
Dude, it was 41.
Pretty much.
41-12. Like,
I mean, I thought they were going to score 100 at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
Because keep in mind, you know what the worst part of that is? They're running around. Whoosh, 3. like it's not like they're running around trying to get they did 3. Or Mobley just dunking.
Oh my God, when he went around Wiggins like a pylon.
Oh. So usually in moments like this, right, you take a deep breath and kind of reevaluate your situation, right? We're not going to do that, but that's what they're going to say. Because the last person I want talking, believe it or not,
who?
The only person that can make me more frustrated than I am right now is Spo.
Yeah, well,
because I don't need, like you said, I don't need a Hallmark card. I don't need. Sometimes, one of the best things he could have did was sit up there and say, "We got our asses kicked. Get up and walk off." That's it. There's no explanation. There's no forging, steel, and fire, or whatever that saying is.
Clarity. There's something beautiful on the
There's no clarity. Like, before this series started, and now that it's done, you have more questions about more players on your team than you did before.
Of course.
Because guess what? Jović can't go anywhere. Right? Khalil can't go anywhere. If Bam is playing a 5, then it's not helping the team. And I don't know what to make of Tyler. I don't know what to make of Tyler.
He does the same thing every time. Everybody on that Cavaliers team told you the key to this series was to expose Tyler Herro.
Yeah,
everybody said
here. But here's the problem. If you don't have another scorer, then they can do that. Okay? Because guess what? He could have said that about Spider. But they would have still lost by 40.
Dude, Spider got his face in the buzzsaw even in game 1 and 2 and was like sitting there defending. He was diving on the ground, gave a rat's ass.
Yeah, but
Tyler Herro barely showed up yesterday. He was like, 1 of 10.
Are you playing the result?
No, I'm not playing the result.
Okay.
I mean, first of all, what? Yes. I mean, obviously the season's over, so there are results. But like, come on, Leroy. How many passes does this guy get? How many? He played better in last year's playoffs. Now this year? Oh, this is my all-star season? Went out with a whimper. After they called your ass out by name. And Wiggins. Do me a favor. Take your fake number 22
Okay.
and get to stepping, dude. I mean, for God's sakes. If I never see him in a Heat jersey again, it'll never be too soon.
Really?
I'm done.
Wow.
Didn't want to be
Already?
here. Already.
Yeah.
Already.
Did he
When
play,
it wasn't.
Did he play 20 games?
That's the problem.
That's the problem. You told me this entire. Oh, we're going to have availability. Didn't have that. And when we did,
Wait.
I mean, it barely registered above apathy.
So can I ask you a question?
Go ahead. What do you want to say?
Based on how you feel right now about Wiggins' unavailability, why do you want to go sign guys who are unavailable?
I don't know, dude. Maybe they'll give a rat's ass because this dude has been told the entire thing has been coasting left and right his entire career. Whatever he was in Golden State for his little championship run, he won that down here. Not even close.
Oh, that I agree with.
Not even close.
That I agree with.
Barely looked like he wanted to be here.
Mhm.
Didn't give it. I mean, just did not give a rat's ass as I get. Leroy, did you see it where he just passed it to a Cavalier, then decided, how about I bring it up the court this time? Double dribble. What do you need to go to? You got to go to junior Heat camp?
Why are you looking at me like I double?
There was nobody there.
You're looking at me like I double dribble.
You're not allowed to do that.
Well, yes.
What are you doing?
I want to know, how did your unbiased viewing of the game last night happen? Because I don't think you could. Did you have to go to use the bathroom a lot?
No, very good. I've watched a lot of bad Heat basketball. I've become actually quite good at it in the playoffs.
So
I've watched it 8 straight times.
So you wait until you get around me?
Well, yeah, I don't have to be a professional here. I'm a comic book doctor.
Come on, we know this.
Like, I just, dude, every one of them on the table. Like, whatever. This is the lowest it has been in a very long time.
Since 31-10, 30-11, whatever that was.
30-11 was fun.
No, before that. When was the
10 and 31?
Well, no, I'm saying for a whole season. I mean, because keep in mind, when they were very, very bad and ended up with Beasley, you knew all year that's where.
Yeah.
So, like, I would say when the season started and we went to media day versus where we are now, okay, when has it been this frustrating? Because I can't think.
I don't think it's ever been this frustrating.
Right.
I think this is the lowest of the low.
That
you can't, Leroy. You can't break back-to-back records. Once I'll take. I would take.
I mean, but
I would take losing
out of
to them.
curiosity. Why? Here's what kills me about what people think about sports. You think they had that much of a say in it?
They quit, dude. Yeah, they quit.
You think they quit?
They quit.
All right.
They quit. We saw them come back. We saw them come back in this series again. They quit. They laid down. And by the way,
are you quitting because they lost by 55? You call it?
that is quitting.
Is it?
Even Charles Barkley said. Didn't Charles Barkley says, I don't say when people quit.
Yeah.
This is one of the biggest quit jobs I've ever seen. Barkley called him on TV, called him out on it.
Bad.
And there's nothing else you can call it. It's fine. There's nothing else you can call it.
Like,
I know you don't want to do that.
yeah.
He doesn't want to do that.
I don't
It's
want to
so
do that.
painfully obvious.
I just think we associate bad losses with quitting.
It was quitting.
Okay.
It was an ass kicking, but it was also
It
quitting.
was asking.
It was tap
I
machine.
just go with that.
It was tap machine.
All right.
We'll take a break. If you guys want to get your calls in, we'll let you yell. We'll let you cry. You yell at me. Yell at Spo.
Don't yell at me. I ain't got time for that.
But if you guys want to get in, 305 567
Ain't nobody got no time for that.
0560.
Y'all remember that video?
305 567 0560. Back after this. 15 minutes of heat here, brought to you by Hollywood Kia. At Hollywood Kia, the #1 Kia dealer in all of Florida. Get the star treatment. We want to see you in a Hollywood Kia. Visit them online, hollywoodkia.com.
That'll be 15 minutes more than they gave us.
Yeah, 15 minutes more than they tried.
I'm not gonna do that. I
No,
can't.
But you only
I
you
can't.
only don't want to do it. But I know in your head when you watch you definitely went like this at your television. Oof.
No, I didn't. You know why?
Why?
Hockey was going on at the same time. At 30 to 8, I was out.
Dude, I had the most bipolar Twitter timeline yesterday because it was just like embarrassing heat stat, amazing Panthers thing. That was just my entire night last night.
You were up and you were down.
Oh my goodness. I didn't realize that we could go and replay yesterday's activity in hockey. So, like, they scored and they challenged something that happened 40 seconds ago.
Oh, the offsides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, if they missed it, they missed it.
Ekblad, dude. Ekblad is back. Ekblad is back. We'll get to that coming up in Road to Repeat. I got some callers. They want to yell. Josiah, what's up, man? Frog Boy, you work. The phone's broken over here. Put line.
Hello?
On. Hey, what's up, man?
Hi, how's it going?
Yeah.
Just want to say, very disappointing night. As a Heat fan, I really don't know who to blame other than the top down Pat Riley, and it falls down to Spo. I mean, this roster is built to beat anyone. It's just a bunch of undrafted guys with a handful of top 10 picks, maybe like one. I think it's Davion Mitchell, and two, Wiggins. And then we got
him.
It's just like, sorry. Didn't mean to bring that up. Man, sorry.
You don't have to apologize. They should apologize to you, Josiah. You shouldn't apologize to them. They should apologize to you.
No, it's just like ever since last night, I've just been so angry. And then I get like this sore throat. I get this, it's just itching.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's something going on.
What do you think it is?
I don't know. Do you think you know what it is?
I don't know. Like, what else? Do you got any more symptoms that are? What about any coughing that might be going on?
I think there's like some hair in my throat.
Oh wow,
I've heard of that. Yeah, I think
Furball?
there's something going
Yeah.
on.
Wow. Do you think it's what do you think it is?
I think we all know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's cat fever.
That's a team. That's a team. That's a goddamn team.
We needed that. Thank you.
Thank you, Josiah. I'm glad. I hope you feel better. Hello, Jay.
What's going on, fella? I love the show.
I think we're your bipolar timeline now.
No, but how y'all doing today, man? Like,
I mean,
I'm calling because all my rage is directed towards Spo. Because I felt like the direction of the team should have changed. Once Jimmy left, the direction of the team should have changed. Should have went younger, let the young guys play. Like Leroy been saying for the longest, let Khalil Will play. Yeah, let these young guys play, because I'm sitting up here watching Duncan Robinson and watching Hayward Highsmith, guys that I just don't feel like they have nothing spectacular about them anymore. So I'm like, let me watch, you know what I'm saying? Let me watch the young guys like Josh Christopher, and let me watch all the other guys. Like, those are the guys we want to see what we got. And Spo, this standard that he talking about that he got, they need to play like 25-year-olds. Man, this ain't the 90s. This is not the 90s no more. Like, Zoe ain't walking through that door. None of them old guys that y'all used to play with. Like, let's get past that. Like, you got to acclimate to the times. Like, you ain't winning games 90 to 95 no more. You got to score 120. You got to score high points. Like, let's get the offense better going. He got to get an offensive guy in here, because the offense, I don't know what the game plan is. I don't know what we do. Is no game plan. You handing the ball off to Duncan, Bam holding the ball. We sitting up here watching guys hold the ball. We shooting it with 5 seconds left. And Tyler Herro, Lord, like, listen here.
I think that's the most,
man.
Jay, I think the most frustrating thing was I never saw a team run offense and always seemed like they chucked up a shot with 2 seconds left a whole game.
Like, it's it's frustrating, man, to watch that. And Tyler, you want to be the guy, you want to be the man. I did the second series now, the second year in a row that a team basically erased you. Done basically said, like, you ain't good enough to be. When you watch guys like Ant-Man and you watch guys like that they by themselves, they're the lone star, but nobody's shutting them down. Donovan Mitchell nearly killed us by himself. I'm like, you want to be on that level with them guys? You're not. I'm sorry, bro. You're not. You're not on the level with them guys. I seen Bam help us get to a certain point. He can go. Like, I'm done. I'm done with that.
Wow,
so, man,
Jay's
y'all
done.
have a good day, man. I love the show, man. And I also have
We always got the cats.
Hey, so
If no one's got us, the cats got us.
so
Got us.
here's my question to you. By being stingy with the minutes for the young guys, talking about development and stuff like that, have we not prolonged their development? Because there's still situations that they're gonna have to go through that we've just pushed into the future.
Yeah, I think there's definitely that. And I think especially it took that forever with Niko, and it took that with Kalel, where basically it took all these injuries to finally get them their chance. And then finally, you know, your captain has been shouting from the rooftops that he wants to play with size. And for some reason, you're just like, no, 6'5" guy next to you. That's how it's going to work.
Right.
But the thing with me, you know, the thing with Kalel, it's like, okay, I'm not absolving Kalel of looking like a rookie and not playing well
Yeah,
and
but
not
he's
giving up.
being- you know what he is.
I get it. But you also kept leaving him in these islands where Kenny Atkinson keeps getting it switched out, and he's there at the top of the key for a three. This guy's the best lob threat in the league. More alley-oops than anybody. You could say, like, nothing to get his confidence up
Right.
at all throughout the whole series.
I just think that if every young player has to go through a certain amount of playing time or certain situations and get through that so they can be better in the future. If you don't try to get them through those moments, then you're just prolonging it to the next year. So if they end up with 45, 50 wins next year and Kalel is still, now we're going to have this conversation next year.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that. Oh, we need the standard is going to be the standard, and they need to be like 25-year-olds.
No, you need what you need.
No, you have who you have.
Right.
They don't get older. Sorry.
And that's not, by the way, what he did to Kalel this year is not forcing it through a fire hose or whatever the hell he says. That's not what that was.
What was it?
I don't know.
Barely changing the water of a hamster water bottle.
I don't know. It just the thing is
I'll
that
take my -1.
yeah. Good. I'll wait. Go ahead.
It's very kind of you too. Self-sanction. You know what that is? Accountability.
That's me. This was the heat the whole time. Oh, I threw that into the stands. That's on me. I know.
One.
But so
saw you.
and I've always believed this because in football, I remember when I was a rookie and I broke my hand in camp. So I was coming back week 3, right? Kevin Mack broke his hand in week 1. And they looked at me and said, had to put a pad on it. We ain't got nobody else. And I'm like, that's how I got acclimated. Like the team needs what it needs. Like they don't have time to baby these young guys. And here's the problem with the Heat. You play these games with these young players, you finally get them to where you want to, and then you got to decide after 1.5 years of basketball to max them out. But get them their minutes. Get your money's worth. Where are you going? You won 37 games. You can't afford to hold somebody out.
Larry?
Leroy, please. It's a different game. It was a different time. Please, time management. Oh, we need to sit this player. We need to sit that player. That's what the NBA has become. But I'm going to tell you guys something, and you might hate me after this, but I watched not even the half. I couldn't even get through the half. I switched it. I went straight to hockey. I said, you know what? I love my Heat no matter what. I love my Heat. I had the guts when we were all talking about, oh, we're going against Boston. Oh, this team's got guts. The guts are gone. You know where the guts are? GSW with the number 10. I know you guys are going to hate to hear this, but playoff Jimmy showed up, and he just at the end of he comes over and he says, I got my joy back.
I know.
We loved that joy. I love that joy.
So
it's like an ex-girlfriend. It's like an ex-girlfriend. All right, we broke up. Okay, but you know what? I saw her. She was working at the counter.
Yeah.
She looked so lovely and so beautiful. And what did she do? She looked over at me. Her eyes twinkled and then quickly looked away. I saw Jimmy last night. My eyes twinkled and my heart broke. But I had to sit and listen. I had to watch. I'm just Spo. Listen, you guys say what you want about Spo. Respect, mad respect to Spo. Spo got his wins because of LeBron. Come on, let's put it out there. Spo got his wins because of Jimmy Butler. Let's put it out there. Not a brilliant coach. You know who's a brilliant coach? Steve Kerr. Sorry, you know who's a brilliant coach? Pop. But what Spo's doing to baby this one and limiting minutes and doing this, they don't go out there and play basketball. Tyler Herro has become a zero. Oh, my God, I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm just – anyway.
All right, see you, Larry. We'll take a break.
The one thing I would say that he says it's not, it's not the old days where guys sitting out or whatever. This is not a situation of managing minutes. This is not a situation of, giving guys rest. What we're talking about is he purposely holds young guys out without trusting them, right? And
he got called out on from last year with Jimmy because Jimmy told you, they put Niko to Sioux Falls because he wanted to go try and get some playing time as a backup 5, and Jimmy had to say he's not a 5.
Right, but
and by the way, that's why I registered a lot with Niko and why Niko stayed loyal to Jimmy.
Right.
Like throughout all of this. And I'm not saying, I'm not excusing all of Jimmy's behavior because it was rotten. But it registered because a player was looking out for him when a coach wasn't.
Right. But here's the other thing is that when you look at sports, look at football, you look at everybody has the attitude now. Let's get our young guys some reps. Let's get them in the game so they can get that experience so we don't have questions about them in the future. Spo's still sitting guys out, sending them to the Yotes, sending them like, oh, he needs to earn these minutes or whatever. That's not the way. Listen, you remember Houston when they drafted all those guys and they were young? They went out and got their lumps. Detroit, young guys, go ahead and take your lumps. Why are we not? We don't have LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosh where we can do that.
Well, that's the thing that I find crazy about it, and we got to get to a break here, but it's like, even if the Heat did tank, right, and let's just say the Heat were in a position where they would have gotten a top 5 guy, can Spo handle that? Like, is Spo in the place where he can handle and nurture a young talent anymore?
Right. The last young guy that got minutes right away was D-Wade. And he had to be a Hall of Famer. Right?
Well, he didn't coach him as rookie year. Stan did.
Okay, there you go. Wasn't even. There you go.
Take a break. Back after this.
The Heat.
All right, welcome back, you rascals. Tobin and Leroy back with you here. 560 WQAM. What'd you say?
She opened the door and she backed into it, and I said, "You got to put that side hip in. That door is heavy."
The WQAM's Whiskey Stars and Cigars presented by Ed Morse Sawgrass Auto Mall is back on February
Come
May
holla
9th
at your boy.
at Tabacon at Plantation Walk. Talk sports unfiltered with the QAM's sports staff. Enjoy a whiskey and a cigar from Drew Estate. Guys can just stop on by. No registration necessary. It is free. Whiskey Stars and Cigars at Tabacon at Plantation Walk. It's presented by Ed Morse Sawgrass Auto Mall. Your 2024 Dealer of the Year. 22 acres of new and pre-owned Chevys, Cadillacs, and Buicks. Visit them online at edmorsesawgrass.com. You must be 21 or older to attend. Taking some calls here. We're going to get to the Cats. I'm dedicating a lot of time to the Cats because they deserve it. I don't want to shortchange them here in our typical road to repeat segment. So we will get to Cats here in about 10 minutes and celebrate what was really the moment of the night last night. They deserve it more, quite frankly, than this basketball team, which embarrassed its fan base last night. Here's Sean in Honolulu.
Yes, sir. Hey, thanks for taking my call. Look, man, I'm on my way to Bank of America right now to withdraw $5,000. You know why?
Why?
Because all the Heat had to do was win one game, not the series. Okay, so I'm mad.
One? Wait, you had a bet
Oh,
on
so you
this?
had gambling.
no.
You were gambling.
You had to, they just needed one, and they couldn't do that for
sorry.
poor Sean.
Okay, so basically, look, so what I want to say is this: enough with the yes man known as Heat culture on this team. We need some wave makers like a Trae Young on this team, some fights, some dogs, man, because that's the problem with this culture here. We got some go long, get alongs, good players, and all that. But when it comes to getting some fight and come down to nitty gritty, they ain't gonna come through for you. I'm tired of them.
Is it really?
He can go.
Is it really 4:51 in the morning in Honolulu?
That's right. 6 hours behind, bro.
Man,
Why don't you
dude.
get some sleep,
No, it's
man?
fine.
How am I gonna get some sleep? How am I gonna get some sleep? All I had to do was win one game. You know what the rent is over here? You know it's $10 a pack of cigarettes over here? Do you know any of that? Hey, listen, bro. I'm real, bro. I want to play. Look, bro. I'm hot.
I'm so sorry.
Man, are you kidding me? What would you do? I'm a wreck over here.
Who are you most mad at?
Man, look, Spo. Because here's the whole thing with Spo's thing. He wants to wait 4 or 5 months into the season trying to figure out a roster. Man, just get it right. Get 5 guys start playing them, man. Play your young dudes.
Yeah, and let's not also forget. Let's not forget, Sean. He did forget in the game this year that he's not allowed to call timeouts with no timeouts.
Timeout gate.
Oh man, come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I got bigger fish to fry. But anyway, man, hey, thanks for taking my call.
All right, see you, buddy. He's gone.
Hey,
Poor
hey.
guy.
How am I gonna sleep?
He broke it down.
There's no
Now-
sleep here.
Now, let me say this. He lost me when he said Trae Young. Because
Well,
I'm
he's high. Just take into account he's high as a kite.
I'm gonna say it like this.
Had lunchbox.
If you competing with Boston and Cleveland, having a garden gnome at point guard ain't getting it done.
Maybe we should do a show where we all get high and just come up with our free agent ideas.
Dude, what
I
you
don't
doing?
think that would end well.
What? Well, no.
Maybe we come up with the solutions. I'm high as a kite. Yogi.
Last time we had too much to drink, you ended up jumping in my pool. No, jumping in the Marlins pool after a win.
Yep, walk-off win though.
And Robbie. Walk off win. Who cares what kind of win it was?
Soupy. Oof.
Soupy.
The DJ was like,
It's out of my hands.
hey, can I just tell you? The Atlantic Ocean was cleaner than that pool.
Oh my god, it was filthy. That's how I feel today, though. I feel dirty. Rob, what's up, man? Hey, Rob.
Hey, good morning. Full disclosure, I'm a Knicks fan.
All right, see ya.
We ain't got time for that, Rob.
-1.
We ain't got time for that.
Yeah, hold on. Who we got here? Richie, what's up, Richie?
Good morning, losers.
Oh, see ya. There, another one.
Yeah, when you knew what. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You knew what Richie was gonna come on here and
I
do.
did.
Crazy.
think I'm in the mood for that right now.
Nobody wanna hear
I got
you.
my own problems.
And yesterday was your fault
No way.
Yeah, it was your
because
fault.
we had to deal with Vlad all day.
Yeah, but we hadn't lost, like,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't that bad yet.
560, you're on the air. You a Knicks fan?
No, I'm a Heat fan. Good morning. Good morning.
Sounds like a
Good
Heat
morning,
fan.
everybody.
How are you?
I'm all right. You know what? I'm gonna say something you guys might not like, man. I think they should keep this team. I think they should keep Spo. I think they should run it back next year and actually get something. Hey, check this out. Listen, hear me out. When they first started playing, they was like outscoring a lot of teams, man. If they could find that magic they was starting to work with when they first started gelling, I think this is a dangerous team, man. I'm just saying.
Hold on, can I ask you one?
Mistakes.
Even Terry Rozier?
10 teams. Okay, now that one we have to talk about. He can't hit the bar side of a barn right now. I understand that, but if he was Terry, the one that was what you say, scary Terry, then we would have some chances.
Yeah.
You know.
All right,
But
see you, buddy.
That is what it is.
Right.
I just think you have a lot of youth and a lot of length that we haven't had an opportunity to see how it's going to work. And I don't think that we're ever going to, like, look, who cares if you go 5-15 the first 20 games if you getting those young guys acclimated to playing NBA basketball, right? Because guess what? You still didn't do that much better sitting them on the bench. And now when you're forced to play them, they haven't had any minutes.
No, I agree.
So, like, I'm a big, man, I'm not the only one. Look at sports now, right? Get your young guy in there for a number of reasons. One, let's see if he can play. Two, let's get him acclimated to the daily grind of the sport. And three, you can only get better having young talent on your team. You play these guys at the last minute, and now you got to max them out after 1 year of basketball because you done held them back for 2 or 3 years? No.
That smells ridiculous too. Like they just extended Tyler Herro. Now that's like, do we have to give him $50 million a year? Well, I would say after you have your quote where you say, I need Jimmy to win. I mean, training wheels Tyler. I don't think that negotiation is going to go well at the start of October.
Why did he say that?
Why did he say that? Why would you say that?
Why would you say that? And then put on
What are you, Goran Dragic? You too honest? Smitty, what's up, man? Close us out this hour.
Oh, man. You know, the last time I felt this bad about a game, played in my, it was Marino's last game against Jacksonville. You remember that? How bad you felt?
62-7, yeah.
This is how this game felt like. Am I wrong?
And we ended up with their quarterback,
Jay Fiedler.
the backup quarterback, who was one of the more consistent quarterbacks the Dolphins have had.
We're going to sign Ty Jerome to the max.
They lose by the same amount, right? That's 55 points. Leroy?
But here's the kicker, guys. Here's the kicker. It was so bad that game that I felt so bad. You know what happened after that, right?
No,
we're going to retire.
Wow, yeah.
Cat fever, baby.
Oh.
Yeah, baby, cat fever. That's on the ice.
Yeah. Come on. All right. Speaking of the Cats, a thriller last night.
Let's do it.
And their coach is a baby. He is whining because Aaron Ekblad is back. And he's bringing bows and goals. Back after this.
It's time for our Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua. It's our Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Tonga Valoa. Not
Tua Tagovailoa.
A for effort. Dolphins quarterback.
Tua. You Brooks Koepka.
What did I tell you about Aaron Ekblad?
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy, Jennifer.
He is the best boy.
He's a very good boy. Man, the Panthers yesterday. They go up 3-1 on the Tampa Bay Lightning. They beat them 4-2. Aaron Ekblad, Seth Jones, goals mere seconds apart. Let's get to our headlines. Brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. Doral Volkswagen, choose over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock with the Tiguan, the Taos, and the Atlas. Remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. Here is Aaron Ekblad tying this puppy up.
Ekblad hands there to Reinhart. Reinhart just inside the line. Long shot, save made a rebound. They score! And it's Aaron Ekblad crashing the net. And the Panthers have tied this game at 2 with 3:47 to play in the third. Aaron Ekblad picks up the rebound, and this game is tied.
Man, that was good. Leroy, you know.
You could have done this during the
You literally haven't said any words. You've just rummaged like a possum in the garbage in your snacks.
You know what's crazy? He
I
was by the
walked down
kitchen
there.
and I was by the bathroom, and I could still hear the crunch from all the way over there.
Well, they're kettle cooked. I mean, those are very crunchy.
Oh,
It's good stuff.
yes. That's fine.
Mere seconds later, Seth Jones intangibles. That's how we do it in hockey, right?
Yes.
Intangibles for the lead.
Shot for the far point. They score! They score! This one took a bounce out front, and the Panthers have taken a 3-2 lead with 3:36 to play. Seth Jones put it to the net, and that one deflects in, and the Panthers are up a goal.
It went under the goalie's armpit. Yeah, it was the weirdest. Oh my god! That's why you shoot the puck.
Vasilevsky couldn't gather himself from the
Right.
goal mere seconds ahead. He wasn't. That's, you know what happens, Leroy? That's what happens when you don't reset and refocus. Now, I know Bob did the same thing in a period beforehand, but you want to know what he didn't do? Give up a goal the rest of the game?
Yeah, that
focus. I'm very happy.
He got the end boards, Lundell on it, and he will play it out the line, held in. Radish, Gensel, shot, he rang it off the goalpost. Inches from tying the game, Gensel, then Hedman winds, fires, and a save with the left hand by Bobrovsky, and the puck played into the neutral zone.
Man, he was so, when they had that 5-minute kill they had to go into, Leroy,
That's what was amazing. So that was from the
that was when Mikkola was just rubbing dude's face into the ice.
I heard a stat from Billy Lindsay this morning about that 5-minute penalty.
yeah.
What did he
and
say?
what happened never happened.
What did he say?
The percentages of them going goalless during that time is around 30 to 40%. But what the Panthers did was not allow a shot on goal, which is anywhere between, he said, 2 to 5%.
That's amazing.
Not even a shot.
Studs. And then you have this coach. Because did Ekblad give a little bit too much to Hagel? Pow! Did he Bones Jones him in the face?
I think he was pushing to hit him in the shoulder and his hands.
Yeah, hard to say. Hard to say. They didn't call a penalty. Hard to say. And this Messier. You know what that's like to have Messier up there? They rolled a clip in the later in the post game because this dude was Bo Central. I mean, it'd be like Draymond Green wanting somebody in the NBA kicked out for kicking someone in the nuts. He's got the audacity to say that about a good boy in Aaron Ekblad. Good boy.
Good boy.
This was their coach Cooper. We call him Coach Pooper.
Do we?
That's what we call him, dude.
Like,
it's getting tiresome answering questions about a hit every single game. So I'll ask you. You asked me the question. Why are you asking me the question? Do you have anything to say about it? Oh, well, but, you know, if anybody in here has something, stand up and let me know. All right, let's move on.
I have something to say. Coach Pooper, I have something to say.
Yes, sir, in the back.
How's it feel?
How does what feel?
That you're about to get top hat and monocle, baby! Cats in 5.
Well, my response is,
hey, look, let's just get something straight, okay? For the Bolts, because you guys don't know how to do this anymore. You're washed. It's a washed brand. It's a washed brand. And what you guys did to Alexander Barkov, you should have been taken away in handcuffs. Not just because of the hit. Leroy, not just because of the hit, but because you did it to a prince, a sweet man in Alexander Barkov, a pinnacle of the game and the way it should be played. And so what happens is you guys went too far. You slaughtered a baby lamb. And for that, we had to send the wolves on you. All right? And you can't handle it anymore because now it's gotten too tough. And you think you're so smart with your little back talk, chat at Paul Maurice. Well, who's laughing now, dude? And what do you have to say? I don't even know what to say to the media anymore. You're embarrassing yourself. Your whole team. I told you Aaron Ekblad was a good boy.
You
Nice
did.
hair.
You did.
He got retribution for his good friend Alexander Barkov.
Yeah.
These guys have been
That's not helping the situation. Saying that
been
was
together.
retribution.
It was retribution.
Okay.
But you want to know how you do retribution? The right way.
Oh,
The clean way. No penalty.
no penalty.
No penalty.
You know that gets reviewed, right?
If you're reviewing it, what are you reviewing it for? Be like, hey, that's how you get away with it. Can I just tell you something? The Panthers, very good at getting away with it.
They didn't get away with it yet.
Oh, we're going to get away with it. We got away with the Chuck hit, and it's going to make Coach Pooper so mad. And how about our boy, Lundy, with that luscious hair? Baby Barky.
Didn't he get the 5-minute
No,
major?
it's crazy, though. And I don't mean to bring this back to the Heat, but how does Paul Maurice, how does he coach me? He's only 22 years old. So how does that, is it because the Finnans act like 25-year-olds?
I mean, look, 22. Look at Sam Miscavige.
Hmm.
He's young. Like last year.
Very odd.
Was it last year? Lundell was really young.
He's still very young.
He's still very young.
Still very young.
But guess what? He got thrown in the fire in the Stanley Cup run.
Interesting. Interesting.
Like, that's what sports is now. Sports is you can't afford a whole bunch of veterans. You're young guys. You need to get these young guys on the floor when you don't have to pay them to get some production out of them. Not wait until one more year. Then you got to decide whether to max them out.
Are we wearing top hats and monocles? Can we bring in champagne glasses on? Well, champagne's for the championship. What are we
doing?
So do we bring gin?
What are you doing?
Martini?
Martinis? Oh, martinis. Can you make us a martini? Do you know how to make a martini?
Shaken,
I'll
not
make one.
stirred. Or
Yeah, I can figure it out. Olives.
I don't like olives. I like mine with a twist.
How does James Bond
What?
like his?
Yeah.
The dirtier, the better.
Shaken, not stirred.
Oh, look at that.
You're an idiot.
Wow.
No, wait. A martini has olives in it.
Yeah.
It can.
A dirty one.
No.
No. It has to.
It has to have.
filthy,
Can you
by
make
the
us a
way.
two unfilthy martini?
I don't know the difference. I don't
2-1
drink
Phil.
martinis.
Oh, that'll be like an espresso.
Well, this
More,
one. So what you do?
vermouth?
More olive juice.
2-1 filthy.
All I want you to
dirty
do.
is more olive juice. Okay.
Yeah, what I want you to do is instead of a toothpick for the olive, can you make a little hockey stick?
Oh,
So cute. Please.
What do you?
yeah. You can.
What do you think
carve
is
a
this, bar
popsicle stick.
rescue?
Top hats and monocles.
And we
Let's
can also do espresso
go.
martini
What do you think is
because-
bar rescue? The game's tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see what
Espresso.
I hate
martinis.
those martini glasses. Let me tell you something.
I have a little
Hey,
one.
time out.
A little travel.
I'm gonna
size
say
one.
this, and I mean all disrespect in the world.
All right.
A grown ass man should not be juggling a drink in that little bitty thing that spills
I
most
can't
of the
even
time.
do that.
Right.
I spill it all
Why?
the time.
Right. Listen, I want the liquor in my mouth. I do not want to have to balance it. No.
The close up on that.
That's not gonna get clipped at all.
But wait, because sometimes when I get my Manhattan, they try to bring it in the fancy glass. I'm like, man, put that thing in a mug. What are you doing? Extra cherries.
Maybe I'll just drink a Manhattan. That seems like a manly gentleman's drink.
Yeah, Manhattan.
Oh yeah,
cherries. Oh yeah, it's got whiskey in it. You're good.
Yeah, I'll stick to whiskey. That's my go-to.
But here, if we're gonna do top hats and monocles,
yeah,
we either have to do one or two things: Scotch straight up, no ice, or martini,
big cube
with the pinky.
You got to tell me what's more gentlemanly.
Wow.
And a cigar.
Oh,
we'll save that for whiskey stars and cigars.
Yeah, but I still don't like.
Let's just open up a speakeasy in here at this point. You know what? It seems
like we already
dim the lights.
we
Dim the lights.
we
Please.
already gonna get fired by Friday if we even try to do any of this.
Well, if anybody's here.
Oh, but Wednesday I'm not gonna be here. I can do it from my house.
Yeah, but Wednesday's the
It's
game.
the game, so Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday makes sense.
I want a little chimney hat. Sorry.
What?
Just thinking of my outfit.
What's a chimney hat?
No.
It's a top hat.
Where do we
Yeah.
find these
Top
hats?
hat?
Like you referring like as a chimney sweep?
Yeah.
No, he's talking a top hat.
No,
the high one, the high hat.
I have a new one.
You have a new one?
Yeah. After I burned the other one.
Fireproof?
Do you still have the burnt one?
No. I had to get rid of the
No,
evidence.
he had to get rid of the evidence because his wife
Right,
was out of
but
town. Was she out of town, right?
Who's a close set?
She was out of town, right? When you almost burnt down the house.
I didn't almost burn down the house. It's a
Yes,
close
you
set.
Dude, you threw the match in there and then you
A chimney sweep hat can look a little bit like a Peaky Blinder.
let me see.
What?
No, but if I put a bow tie on,
Yeah, that's a high hat.
I can look like a
That I
big
have.
A top hat. That's a top hat.
Nah.
But I don't think that's what like chimney sweeps look like that. Like
No,
the
I
chimney sweep, I imagine looking like this, like in Mary Poppins.
Yeah, I feel
No,
like we're
that's a
gonna be like
Kangol.
on a set of a
It's
movie.
not a Kangol. It's not LL Cool J.
Yeah. It's just a Kangol for white people.
Why would you wear a top hat while cleaning chimneys?
I just wanted to look like a gentleman.
No, I think they call it chimney sweep because it's made like a chimney.
I'm about to call this a chimney sweep.
Oh, is that like a gentleman sweep? But it's just
Dirtier.
Ooh.
It's filthier.
So I don't think I've
filthy.
ever
Please bring me the blue.
I don't think I've ever had a martini. Nope, I've never had a martini.
Good
so
time.
Really?
it's what? Gin,
Mhm.
olive juice, vermouth, not vermouth. What else? Yeah, vermouth
Yeah.
and olives.
And pain.
The more olives, the better.
Yeah. Well, no, you want a snack. You don't want to drink.
Olives can kick rocks.
Every now and then I don't mind an olive. I don't necessarily like a olive in my drink because that means the drink is bitter, right? I'm not into bitter drinks.
The only person who bitters right now is Coach Pooper. He's bitter.
So
I mean, you were kind of bitter early on.
Deserved.
I mean, who wouldn't be?
I got
No,
more.
I know the only thing that saved me was perfect example
Stop looking.
of why you don't have two TVs.
Why?
Because I could just change and not go back to
So you
that
buried
garbage.
your head in the sand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Well, at 38, do we need to watch more?
Ricardo says, Tobin, it's your fault. Go to hell.
Wow, Ricardo. I didn't think that was warranted.
Thank
We
you.
already had this conversation yesterday.
Wasn't my fault.
Why you were at fault. You started.
Not my
Listen,
fault.
like they said yesterday, it's going to be a 30 for 30. How the local radio host ruined the Heat.
I didn't ruin the Heat.
Here's how evidence works. If we can go back in time and see where the downfall started, it started with you.
I don't like this. I'm taking a break.
The Heat have been eliminated.
moving slow motion for me.
Welcome back. Tobin and Leroy back with you here. 560 WQAM.
Do they play this every time slow-mo go in the game?
Hard to say. I don't know.
Game Ops even had a
I
bad
knew we were in
season.
trouble when he was dribbling the ball up here.
You thought Game Ops had a bad season, Marcos?
They had a failed Pepas.
Yeah.
That's a
That's not on them. That's on Jaime.
They've had a failed bad couple of seasons. Remember the Conor McGregor thing?
That was a bad idea, but that's look, I understand you want to make a lot of money. Conor has a lot of bucks behind him. Terrible idea to do that in the middle of that. I will say though, yesterday is when Game Ops makes its money because they got to keep people happy. And they send a lot of bribery T-shirts, a lot of bribe pizzas.
Oh, they were shooting a whole bunch of stuff out of cannons.
Yeah, dude. They had the golden oldies go twice.
Twice for golden oldies.
We tired.
Wait.
Get back out there. Get back out there.
Maybe that
golden
was just
oldies.
a starting lineup and you're confusing them. Are you sure it wasn't?
Spo's like, how old are you? 4. Perfect. Get him out there. Somebody said I missed the comment, but somebody says somebody tell Spo that Evan Mobley's 23.
I know, that's crazy, right?
He kind of looks older than 23.
Yeah, well, that's just because he looks like arms and legs. Yeah, that's why.
And so, and the crazy thing is that he went through his lumps last year.
Yeah, he did.
Right.
And Jared Allen famously did a couple of years ago then too.
Right, where everybody said he's young, he's got to go through his. Why is Khalil playing? Dude. But here's the thing: when you've had success for a long period of time, that gets lost because you just think you can keep putting guys in there and just make it work. And you're young guys, you can teach these young guys this lesson, right? Whereas every other team is thinking, let's get our young guys in so we can all grow together.
Stephen A. Smith has gone on First Take today, and he says it's time for Pat Riley to move on as president of the Miami Heat. He says, quote, you have to get people who want to come to Miami, and Pat Riley's not that guy anymore.
Really?
I think everyone's seeing it, man. I know it's hard, but I think it's the
It's
end
not,
of an
it's
era.
not here. I think people look at the team, right? And what big time players do now is they try to figure out how they're going to fit on that team. And so what I would say is if you trade for a big name star and have to give up assets, when that star gets here, how much better are you except for that star? And so I think a lot of these players are looking at that situation and figuring it's not a situation where you say, ooh, let's see, I want to play with this guy, I want to play with this guy, I want to play with this guy. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like
the thing was,
Golden State has a whole different situation.
They do, but let's take it back to when Jimmy got here, right? Like when Jimmy got here, it's not like there was this vast destination of big players.
Jimmy's a different because it's all about the money, and that's okay.
I'm talking about the first signing, though. I'm talking about when Jimmy came here from Philly. Okay, and yes, they did give him his money, which Philly was a little bit squirrely about giving him, and they had some riff with the coach.
Right.
But, they weren't loaded up here. I mean, the starting lineup that year had 2 undrafted guys in Bam Adebayo at 21 years old.
Right.
So,
but again, Jimmy's a different situation because what talks first with Jimmy?
the money.
The money.
Yeah, the money did.
Okay.
But also he didn't like the situation in Philadelphia as well.
Well, they didn't want to pay him.
It's not just that they didn't want to pay him though. Like they had the whole riff with the coach, the Ben Simmons thing. Like there was a lot of like locker room tension as far as Ben Simmons being a mope, and that being a weird fit. So there was that too. Like it wasn't just a money thing because people were going to pay Jimmy his money regardless.
Right.
So like when you're talking about getting people, I think the thing with the question here with the Heat is you're this far off. Like you just got stomped like that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you really like, is this a viable destination anymore? Like that's the thing that the Heat have to look themselves in the mirror and ask. Like it has, of course, prestige of its past and it has prestige of what it's done.
That's
one
of the hardest things to do. One of the hardest things to do is move on from what won in yesteryear and do what wins now. It's hard for everybody. It's hard for a lot of people because they've had so much success, and Spoelstra's had so much success that one of the guys who I think has been really good at it has been Pop, right? Like he has a way of doing things, but as each era has gone by, he's been able to.
Yeah, but I mean, like they kind of like Pop had that time after the whole Kawhi thing. Like, let's look at the Spurs, right? They had the Kawhi thing, and they didn't want to go in the tank, so they traded for DeMar DeRozan. They had LaMarcus Aldridge, and they were, kind of like this. This was like their version of that. Eventually, it came to the point where they had to set it off and blow things up. Now, the thing that is tough for the Heat is they do have this, pick they still owe for the Terry Rozier trade, but they are going to be in a situation, and they have the 20th pick this year. Next year, they'll have their own pick. And, so is this a year where like the Heat would do a soft reset, take a step back, get themselves in the lottery? 2026, your cap space clears. And if Luka doesn't extend, then you get into the game for him in free agency. Like that has to be asked. Or do you really think that there's going to be something in the idea of like, if Giannis becomes available, or if Joker or whoever, Kevin Durant, if adding Kevin Durant, would Kevin Durant, of all the options Kevin Durant could go to, if he could go to Houston or he could go to Miami right now,
Houston,
so like these are the things that has to be asked.
One of the frustrating things about all of this is all those teams that you just talked about, Houston, some of these younger teams, they throw their young players in and take their lumps.
But they also bottom it out.
That's the point that I was getting at, is that they went wherever those young guys took them, right? And it wasn't good the first year. Cleveland struggled a little bit too when those young guys, because they made a lot of mistakes. I think that's where we are now in basketball, is that let those young guys get some experience. Because guess what? I think all we did this year is prolong the finding out whether Kalel or Jović can be those guys. Because you really fell in love with Jaime, and then you fell out of love with him.
Deserved. He stunk.
But it's just because you have success early, right? As you get on in your career, that's when you become more consistent. It's spotty right now because they're young, or they're new NBA players.
He's 25 is right there with
no
the age.
new. That's why I changed it. I changed it right because I knew where you were going, and you just blew by it like I never said nothing. Anyway, these new NBA players, a lot of teams are just letting them take their lumps, figure out what they have, and move on from there. Like, just because Jaime had a good rookie year doesn't mean he's going to build on it. He's still going to have some ups and downs because he's young and early in his career. How's that? That happens. But, like, now all of a sudden he's on the bench because, his second year in the NBA, he wasn't as good as he was his first year. It happens. Like, we got to get off of this. Like, remember, think about this. Everybody says Jordan was the greatest, right? The greatest. The first 5 years of his career, everybody said he's not a winner. He's just a scorer.
You're doing the Jordan thing.
Yes, but
That's
because
the comparison you want to make. You want to do Tom Brady?
No. I'm just saying, no, Tom Brady was great early. Football's different. Basketball, they say, you get into your prime, 26, 27 years old.
Okay, so let's get to this then. So is the answer then, do the Heat have a step back year? Because, like, it doesn't make sense.
I don't know, because they didn't play their young guys. So if
that's what a step back year would be.
Now, if they have to rely on them.
Well, I'm talking about a year they're not gonna be close. Like, I'm talking about a year where you're gonna be. I mean, hell, they won 37 games this year. What's winning 30 next year? What's winning 25 next year?
I would say this: if you give me consistent Pella minutes, Jović minutes, Kalel minutes, all right, Jaime minutes, right, whatever they may be, that they ain't going to win no less than 37. They're not.
Maybe not. I don't know.
They're not. 37 is the basement of what I think this team with this length and this youth could do.
Mm-hmm.
We never saw it. We never saw it because
they're going to be at a crossroads. Like, put the Pat Riley stuff aside. Like,
okay, yeah,
I think
I'm not even talking about Pat Riley. I'm
you're
just
not.
talking about the team.
I know you're not. The national head's calling him to step aside. To me, Pat Riley gets to go out on his own terms. He created this.
Mhm.
If Pat Riley wants to stick around, in my eyes, he's going to stick around. And I mean the same way with Spo. Marcos wants to kick him upstairs.
Woo.
I don't think Spo needs to be kicked upstairs. But there does have to be a recalibration in the organization. And I don't know what that is as far as, do they want to go either A, go take a real risk on some talent that has some baggage to it, much like Jimmy did, by the way.
But Jimmy could play. But Jimmy was always a player. He
had attitude baggage and he had durability baggage. But he was a playoff winner. He was in Philly.
I think with the youth that you have, the one thing that helps getting youth forward into their careers is consistency. I don't think you can have a leader who is inconsistent with his availability.
Okay. You got to hope like hell you can win the Kevin Durant sweepstakes, which nobody loses that sweepstakes more than the Miami Heat. This would be the fourth time they've done that if they don't get Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what that makes you. Bam, Tyler, and Kevin Durant.
Forget. Also, put in that younger talent.
But you're going to have to trade some of that younger talent to get them.
But Kevin Durant?
Some of it. You're going to have to get rid of somebody. What do you think?
I'm going to do it, Tobin.
You turned to me? You think you're going to get it for Jaime and Terry?
Jaime and Terry. No, that's what you do. Now all of a sudden, this dude got some get right.
I mean, Terry's a good trade.
You wanted to get Zion for Terry Rozier and Jaime.
I think we can do that trade.
See what I'm saying?
I think we can do that trade.
But when I say let's do that for Kevin Durant.
No, but I think I think we could do that trade.
Huh?
20th pick, Terry Rozier, Duncan Robinson for Zion.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You think they would do that?
Hell yeah. They got a first round pick and they get Zion off their hands.
Finally. So let's see what this looks like. Zion, who at some point during the season
is going to get into an Astron controversy.
No, it's just going to be an empanada sitting on the bench. Right? Right.
Okay, so hold on. So we got that. Or
no,
we take a step back here.
I'm not. Ja is out of the question.
I'm not talking about Ja.
Okay.
He's in other categories. So it's either baggage, young guy who's going to look for a new destination. So we'll call that the trade Ja Zion category. A young, talented guy with a lot of baggage and big question mark.
Yes.
The KD with a slice of maybe honest, even though I don't know if you got enough to get him. Maybe. Or you take a step back. Maybe move on from Tyler Herro because he's going to want his extension. Let me finish. And you play the young guys. You figure it out. You get the best pick that you can next year. And you'll have a lot of money coming off the books. And then maybe you make a run at whatever 2026 is. Maybe that's Ant-Man. Maybe that's Luka. Whatever. So those are their options.
Okay.
Those are their options. We got to let's take a break. We'll take a step back and we'll get back into it. All right.
Why do you get to finish? I wanted to finish. Fine.
You
go.
finish.
No,
you finish.
That's my right.
No, you finish. No, you finish.
Nope.
Fine, back up.
I'll finish. You know what?
Got what you
All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy.
Nothing says intangibles like brass monkey.
That's true.
Play this for a reason, though.
4?
No.
I need to know.
I just got it.
I need to
but
know.
wait, that's not. So here, I'll. There's a thing on the internet.
Biggest thing on the internet.
Biggest thing on the internet.
Oh, I know we're gonna do that topic too.
I need to know. I need to know because Leroy's wrong already.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
Of course you are.
You want to do 100 men versus a gorilla?
Let's go.
Silverback.
One silverback.
Is there any
with
kind
no
of other,
weapons?
I don't think there's any other kind of gorilla.
With no weapons.
No weapons. Yeah.
I don't think it said that.
No, it said no weapons. Yeah, no weapons.
No weapons.
All right.
So who?
It's easily 100 men.
No,
it's not King Kong. It's just a gorilla,
dude. How much you think? Go the average size of a gorilla. Go.
He's gonna kill 30 to 40 people, but we're gonna win, dude.
Wait, when he killed the first one, the other 99 gonna get the
Depends
hell
what
out
kind of like, dude. Is it men picked at random, or can I pick the 100 best men for this?
No, we're not going. You gonna pick UFC guys?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like,
you got your best gorilla. I can't pick 100.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No,
like,
it
if
doesn't
I
say
pick
the
in
best
heavyweight-
gorilla.
I'm
It
picking
says just a
heavyweight
gorilla.
Yeah.
If I get John Jones, Francis Ngannou,
Come on.
Stipe, you know, I'm talking like heavyweights.
Gotta get some Shaq in there, like a
Shaq, Tyson Fury,
Dwight Howard.
There is a path to this. There's a path, but I don't like. There's
No
going to be
weapons, though.
casualties.
There's gonna be a
There's
lot
going to be
of
casualties. There's going to be nuts ripped
Now,
off.
Here, let me explain something.
That's what I was thinking.
Here's where it gets interesting with human beings. You gonna sacrifice your ass for the other 99 so they can win?
Mm-hmm.
You are?
I think the thing is, if you're just going for the win,
We're just going for the
if, we're
win.
if you have pride, like I think the original tweet says, you just got to be committed to it. So if you
Yeah.
say, "Hey, this is for the existence of mankind," otherwise the gorillas take over.
This is a final.
You know, in Planet of the Apes won.
I didn't watch that movie.
Okay.
Well, they cheated. That wasn't just one. There was a lot of them.
Okay, but the main one, he seemed to
Caesar. Yeah, you good.
Caesar was good.
Okay,
Smart.
but
Smart.
We understand
Smarter than some people I know.
We understand the first people are going to take a lot of casualties, but you know, like we said, if we're committed to the cause, he's not getting through 100 of these battles.
Dude, have you met him? Have you met a male?
I've watched my.
Ain't nobody that committed to nothing.
I think 100's too many.
Too many.
I think it's too many. I
too
think
many.
the gorilla could get weighed down on. You could start bashing its face in.
Really?
Yeah, I
You
think
think
you
so?
100 men, dude.
So they're going
100 men.
What's the size of the gorilla?
Well, it's just hard because like,
Just give me what's the average size of a silverback gorilla.
but like they're
And
kind
what?
of hunchback, so they're only 4'4". But
No,
when
just
they
give me the
stand
weight,
up-
dude.
The weight. Nobody asked the body type.
Right, dude. You said the height of it.
No, I said weight. Nobody said how high.
It's only 300.
Why are you asking about weight, huh?
350 pounds.
350 to 400.
Mine's over, Jay.
Wait.
That's true.
350 pounds
Yes.
in a 4'4" frame.
I know.
But all apes are vicious. Like, would you do the same thing with a chimp? Like a chimp is
Chimp is crazy. Yeah.
chimp is just as vicious,
For sure.
but it's smaller.
No, we're killing that. I'll give you
350,
75 men on the chimp. Easy.
350,
Mm-hmm.
5 foot, 350
Mm-hmm.
with a 7 foot wingspan because you know they got them long arms. How you gonna rush them?
Let me ask you this: if you could teach a gorilla to play football,
oh, right.
okay, you're telling me that it would be untackleable?
No, he wouldn't be able to run. He would be a tackler.
No, I'm saying you teach a gorilla to hold that rock.
He's not fleet of foot.
Third and
though.
one.
They're not fleet of foot.
They're not fleet of foot.
They're fleet of hand because they're kind of just like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Would he be down by contact if that's how he ran?
Every time. Yeah, you're down. He's down.
Could we solve 4th and 1
No,
by having Pickles the gorilla?
If Pickles the gorilla played nose tackle, then like you never get the first there.
Yeah.
Wingspan. 25 miles per hour.
He can run 25 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That's faster than a human.
No, definitely. Also capable of lifting 4,000 pounds.
How fast do they spin?
That's a lot of weight.
Dude.
Yeah.
Now you think 100 men gonna take that down?
I have to specify. Like if I just had 100 men a drawing, like if you just gave me,
Yeah,
like
100 men.
if it was like Jeopardy guy,
Keep in mind, That's the average size of a silverback.
Like if
we're not taking the biggest, baddest silverback.
I know. I'm saying like if I end up with a bunch of, kickers, I can't do anything with it. But if I'm allowed to pick my 100 men, and I could have Zach Sealer.
Can Caesar pick his silverback?
Oh, yeah, this
Caesar the king?
Yeah.
The tallest silverback was 6'5". Jesus.
How much did he weigh?
8 foot wingspan.
Is that like a prehistoric one?
It's in 1938. They found him in 1938. He was 6'5". He had an 8'10" wingspan, and he weighed 483 pounds.
Good God. No, super gorilla we can't be.
I'm just saying,
average gorilla.
Yeah, wait,
he's gonna get tired.
We're
though.
talking about the average. So you look.
What is he, Conor McGregor?
Okay,
like he can only go one round?
Okay.
No, he's gonna kill 50
Let's do it
people.
this way. What is the average size of a male? What's the average size of a gorilla? The silverback gorilla.
No, if it's average men, no way. Like if it's 100,
but that's what you're doing because
if I'm allowed to have,
just pick the average size of the gorilla.
Yeah, if I'm allowed to pick my 100 men, and I can have
then
Zach Sealer.
Can Caesar pick the gorilla?
Yeah.
He can't pick a super gorilla. It has to be a regular zoo gorilla.
Then why are you picking all pros?
Because I do feel like we're the dogs here. Has anybody put a betting line on it? Somebody's had to have put a betting line on this.
Well, is that legal? Can you
No, but we get sent these emails all the time, hypotheticals of like the betting line. I'm sure somebody's had to put it. And I imagine the gorilla's the favorite.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Because he's a gorilla.
Do you
He
think
ain't thinking about getting home to his
do you
kids
think
and
we'd
eating
lose
dinner?
by less than 55?
Huh?
Would we lose by less than 55? Will we finish with 55 men?
No. No.
How many men will we finish with if we won? 14?
10.
Wow.
10 men.
So
you think 90 men die
yes.
Die.
trying to beat this
Yes,
gorilla?
because
and
I
what
think,
shape are they 10
I think
in?
he's gonna pick up one and beat the other one's ass with that one.
Yeah, but then while he's doing that, tickle, 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 tickle.
Yeah.
Boom.
Really?
And then
Does he know jujitsu? Like if I brought Damian Maya.
No, he's a ground and pound guy.
No, but if I get his back, right?
Yes.
And Damian Maya gets on the backpacking.
Wait, no. Do you understand?
Go to sleep.
Wait, do you understand how long his arms are? He would just reach back and
I
rip
don't
them
know.
off.
I don't know.
Gotta see it.
Yeah,
What do you know? What do you know how to do
he
that?
just said the biggest one had a wingspan of 8 feet.
That's a fair point.
That is crazy.
You'd have to trap his arm. All right, so first you got to get him an arm bar.
Gotta
You
get
gotta
the
snap one of the
You
arms.
think he go get the?
Go after the.
We are missing the point
What
here.
about the ACL?
Have you pull up video of a silverback fighting?
Kick him back in the knee.
That's what you need to see. Okay, we're not talking about a hockey fight. Go pull up a silverback fighting, or two silverbacks fighting, and watch how they fight against each other. Then take that and put a man in place. See, you ain't got to beat all.
But if I had like Bigfoot Silva, he made Fedor tap.
Come on.
Yeah, but okay, what if I get Bigfoot Silverback? You getting the biggest?
Yeah, but you're making like you're coming up with King Kong. Like you're not allowed to pick
I'm
King
not.
Kong.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Gotta
not.
pick a gorilla.
Okay.
Run of the mill gorilla. I'm allowed to have some
What
fighters.
the average?
Yeah.
The average.
You got to have some fighters. Like no one's gonna like.
But that's the
punting
whole-
isn't gonna sign up for this.
That's the whole argument.
You know who?
100 random
No,
men.
the argument was 100 men who are committed, and committed people are going to need fighting.
Yep.
I just got to tell you.
Okay, so if I had 100 fighters, would they win?
Come on.
No.
Really? So you think they still lose?
Dude,
No way.
have you seen animals in the animal kingdom and how they fight?
I have.
Pull up a
No, but
up a
they
silverback
can't.
gorilla fight.
100 people
It
though.
don't matter.
That's 20,000 pounds,
Dude, I saw Caesar take down the whole race of people.
If we had 100 people versus the Cavs yesterday, 100 Heat fans, could we score more points in the first quarter?
No,
But we get to play 100 versus 5.
they're NBA players.
But it doesn't matter. We could just bombs away. Do you think we could hit it?
Average, what's the average?
What did we
male?
finish last night with Marcos in the first quarter?
That's a very crowded
12?
court. The court is very crowded.
Dude, we scored. It finished, I think, 43-17. If I gave 100 people, and we all had basketballs.
No,
Yeah.
wait. Why do you keep throwing that?
That may make it worse because.
Oh my goodness!
Now
Because they'll just steal it, and all 5 of them have basketballs.
Hey,
Let's freak
you're the
team
guy
out.
that y'all sitting around the TV or outside drinking, and y'all start a random conversation, and he's the guy. But what if I? Like, no. Have you seen a silverback fight?
You seen Yoel
I was
Romero?
looking. Dude, I actually did see Yoel Romero.
Come on.
Yoel Romero, he goes at the body at this gorilla. It's toast.
Yeah. He'll take a couple of gorilla
He
hits.
just beat a 6'7" guy.
Wait, but that 6'7" guy couldn't touch you from here. A gorilla's reach is unbelievable.
Yeah, I watched some right now. It's scary.
No, I'm telling you.
They're big. And
I
they're
think
fast.
y'all, listen, you misunderstand nature. See, I understand nature. That's why I don't go pet sharks. That's
don't
why I don't
understand
put my
nature.
head in the mouth of an alligator. No, I understand.
What's Wemby's wingspan?
Oh, that's good.
What?
Wemby, come on.
He'd beat the 100-minute and pick his teeth with Wemby.
Literally.
Oof.
What are you doing?
Reach of a gorilla is 7'7" to 8'6".
There.
Wingspan of Wemby is 8 feet.
There.
Okay, so Wemby is so we need Wemby on the team.
Yeah.
No, you
just to keep him
don't.
at bay.
No,
He's a
for
wind
sure.
sock.
And Chet,
Yeah.
They're wind socks.
they have a purpose. It's to keep him at bay.
With the chicken wings?
They keep him at bay.
He's got-
John Jones jumps on the back.
Really?
Stipe starts kicking the legs.
Dude, you and
Know who we can't have?
pull up a bit. Have you seen him fight?
I'm watching right now.
Will
And
Campbell.
and you think that's how that's going to end?
Short arms.
They're a little sloppy with their punches.
Right? they kind of just swing and stuff.
Dude,
And
what
then
do you expect the gorilla to faint? You expect it to be
It's you got to be honest with you. I'm watching it right now. Mind you, I've watched a lot of fighting.
Yeah.
It's less impressive than you think.
I'm telling you, we can definitely get it done. Plus, if we all just really work together.
Sloppy, right?
Okay. but
Told you.
He'd fight another big ass.
Tyson
gorilla.
Fury would pick him up from the outside.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude,
He's the Gypsy King.
dude,
Switch hands.
look at that. Is
Seen
that a
3
female?
misses.
Is that a female on the right?
I don't know. It says 2 alpha gorillas.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how they determine that's at the zoo. Anyway, we got to take a break. Back after this.
It's a giant.
Says more important for Warriors title run. Oh, I misunderstood the question. Never mind. I thought they were saying which who is this title run more important for, Draymond or Jimmy? I was like, Draymond has 4 rings. I misread it. My bad. I understand. The answer is obviously Jimmy. I don't know what I don't know.
Because at some point, Draymond's going to cost them a game. So,
that's probably true.
Yeah, right.
That's probably true.
Especially if he got away with what he got away with last game.
I do like Jimmy Butler calling Dylan Brooks a bum yesterday, though. It's funny. Calling somebody a bum is funny. Fix your camera, Leroy. Let's get to headlines, which are brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. Choose one with 300 new Volkswagen models in stock with Fatigue on the Taos and the Atlas. And remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. Yesterday, your Miami Heat throttled 130. It doesn't even look real. 138-83. Wouldn't believe it if I didn't live it. But it was bad. Yesterday, Bam Adebayo asked Bar Boy Wes Goldberg from Locked On Heat about being bounced in the first round the last 2 seasons and what needs to change. Here was Bam.
Bam, 2 straight years of losing in the first round, and obviously you guys hold yourselves to a higher standard than that. What do you think needs to change?
What needs to change? I don't know. It's going to be a lot of changes this summer. Just from my point of view, understanding how, the guy with the silver hair works. So just be prepared for that. And, for me, man, it's understanding got to figure out how to win a game in the playoffs. You understand how hard it is when you actually get into these trenches. So you take that and you figure it out.
Bam. All right, there you go. That was Bam yesterday. Big changes coming in his mind, or a lot of changes coming in his mind.
Do you, because everyone's mad at Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Do you give Bam a pass?
Absolutely not.
Oh.
Absolutely not.
Oh. Now, I started the season very critical of him because his play was horrible, but he picked it up. And I was like, okay. A bit inconsistent, but he was consistent when the team wasn't, so
Dude, he got put in jail by Dean Wade yesterday. I don't want to hear it. He doesn't get a pass yesterday.
Okay. So
it was more respectable. I mean, look, anything is more respectable than 1 for 10, 4 points, a record minus 44. Tyler Herro had one of the all-time stinkers. So anything's going to look better than that. But of course not. Bam Adebayo basically played 2 good quarters in this series. And he had a good first game. And then, even the game they were close, dude was sleepwalking basically 3.5 quarters through the game till he dove for the loose ball. No, he doesn't get a pass either. Especially he doesn't get a pass. They've invested in him. He's got the max deal. Tyler Herro, okay, he's got a big deal. He's going to want a bigger deal. Ooh. But no, he doesn't get a pass. He absolutely has to look at himself in the mirror in this. I get it. You were outgunned. But, I mean, how many games did we look this year? I mean, they were the worst fourth quarter team in the league this year. So, no, he doesn't get a pass. I'm sure the Heat, I will say this, I bet you the Heat are probably more open to, all right, do we move on from them? I don't think they will because he's Mr. Heat. He is the captain.
Yeah. But that's the first time.
But everything has to, when you get the snot kicked out of you, everybody's job needs to be evaluated. Spose. I'm not saying Spo needs to get fired. I'm not saying Pat Riley's got to retire. But everybody, Mickey Arison, can look at everybody in that organization right now. From Pat Riley to the water boy.
And say, what are we doing?
So, that's where we're at. He absolutely does not get a pass. Is he the biggest culprit? No, that's quite obviously Andrew Wiggins. But other than that, he of course has to take some accountability.
Hey, I mean, to be honest with you,
what?
There's a lot of things at play here. One of the most important things is you weren't as good as the team you were playing.
That's right.
So a lot of the things that happen to you start there. The other thing that I hate, this has bothered me last year when Jimmy was actually playing is one of the things I appreciated about Tyler this year was at least he was being aggressive. I hate when the guys you need to score are being passive. We ain't got time for that. You the guy. You the damn guy. You got to go score. You get yours when nobody else is doing it. So all this sharing is caring. Ain't nobody else doing that. You know what all these stars do? Oh, no, you know what? I'm going to try to get you involved, but if you ain't doing nothing, I got to do it. And I appreciate Tyler was trying to do that. Now, in this series, they figured, guess what? Let's lock him up. Make these other guys do it. And they would just pass the ball around till it was 2 seconds left and somebody took a crazy shot. That ain't offense.
Here he was after the game. This was what Tyler had to say.
Gotta watch the film and see what I can do to get better.
You got all summer.
Obviously, the last 2 games, you know, it's very tough on me to play like that as the leader of the team. That's obviously not acceptable, and you know, it's got to be better.
Very
See, I'm
fitting.
not here.
Very fitting to have the
Here.
question marks around your neck.
Let's think of it this way. Whether you think Tyler Herro is a superstar or not, I look at it totally different. I don't care whether you think he's a superstar or not. But on this team, he is the primary scorer. So you get yours. Okay? If by some chance, which every team can do, if they make a conscious effort to get the ball out of your hands, somebody else got to do it.
But this is the thing with him that, like, look, I agree with you. He is an all-star player. There's a lot of all-stars in this league who are flawed. And but you need to know of the idea of, like, hey, if they take something else away, can you go to something else? And too many times for him, it has felt like it's too easy to get him to
shut
go
him down.
to get or to even just get him to go in the comfort zones where you'll tolerate it. It's like, oh, he doesn't want to go at the rim. He wants to be in his safe little floater area where he's not going to draw fouls, but he'll get a 2 because they can't get a 3. He doesn't want to chuck it if it's not a clean look. Dude, stars got to do some crazy things. They do. You got to do some things that make the defense go, holy bleep. Because if you feel like you're gonna relent to that, and then on the other side of it, it's like if you're gonna go to that, all that attention that you get, you can't get anybody else involved.
Right.
You can't take advantage of it.
I never saw this team in the 4 games they played. I have never seen a team take more shots with 5 seconds left on the shot clock than I saw in these last 4 games. That in itself is crazy.
Here was Niko after the game, very hard on himself, even though coming back from the broken hand. He said he hasn't been good enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long season, you know. We had our ups and downs. You know, I got injured through the halfway of the season. I came back right through for the playoffs. Just the truth is, I haven't looked great, you know. I haven't helped this team as much as they needed me to help them, and that's it. Just, you know, I can never be happy because of the way we finished the season, but, you know, I don't think it's a failure of a season, you know. I think everybody just learned a lot, no matter what, but, yeah, we didn't accomplish what we wanted to, but we still learned a lot from it.
You did.
I mean, of course, you know, I've been here from the jump. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in right now. They helped me not just become a better basketball player, but a better person too. You know, I was just, you know, I feel like, I mean, this is my second home. This is where I kind of grow from boy to the man, and of course I would love to stay. But you know, things change. Everything can change. If I learned one thing this year, it's that this is more than just basketball. It's a business too, and you know, I'll control what I can control and be better this summer, and that's it.
All right, boys to men.
Wow.
So here's the deal. There is absolutely nobody in the league that you could put on the Heat team if you have to give up Kalel or Jović that would make this team better. You're basically going to be in the same spot because that length that you have there when they both get their man bodies, right, is going to help this team a lot more than people think. If you get rid of them, then you mysteriously go small again. You're dealing with all these behemoths, all these teams with a lot of size, and you actually would take a step back. So there is no trade that I would be willing to make that would include Kalel and his versatility and Jović and his versatility. There's just not, because that's what the league is. Look at all the length on all these other teams with 6'10", 7-foot guys being athletic. That's the league. So you can't go at it with 6'9" centers anymore unless he can shoot threes.
I'm so proud of you, Niko.
Niko, I'm so proud that your stones dropped.
You grow up from little boy to man. Unfortunately, your coach, he says he needs to see your ID if he wants to play you real minutes. Because he wants to play slow-mo.
Oh, Mama, he's veteran. He has, he has know-how. And
oh, he knows how to move like turtle on court. Boom!
I just hope that one day Mama Jović walks by you. It's just, that's not how I talk.
Calls you out.
We need to get a real person in here, like Goran. Let him run division of basketball. I'm sorry that he did that to you. Do you need some chicken soup for your hand?
Mama, the red meat doesn't even make sense.
You don't make sense.
Steph goes, Jović doesn't even use his size. He's too soft. That's not true.
He's they do take advantage of that. I think he has to get better at that too. He needs to learn how to bully smaller guys.
What is he, 22?
He does.
Yes, that's what you learn. That's how you grow. You don't grow going to Sioux Falls or playing during the week. You learn that in game time.
Your papa will never not post up Ty Jerome.
Mama, he's bigger than he looks.
Mm-hmm. Nonsense. What are you going to do? Be boxed in corner like Bam with Dean Wade?
That really bothered me. That really must have bothered me.
How could it not bother you?
You know, it's fair.
Dean Wade is locking up Bam in the corner?
Yeah, it's not good.
How could that not bother you?
Not good.
Remember when he did that to Steph Curry?
Huh. Gonzalo says it perfectly. Rozier had a leash long enough to wrap around the equator. Niko and Ware make one mistake, and it's to the dungeon.
Agreed.
So now we're going to play the same game in the beginning of next year. Like, how long is it going to go on? We're at a different point in sports right now with young players.
Yep.
So
we'll take a break. Got to get some cat talk. We got an update on Aaron Ekblad and any discipline he may be facing from the league. That's next.
Previously on
Tobin and Leroy.
I love you when they call me señorita. I can hit any buckets, even though I need ya. And then brick shots like ooh la la la. It's ooh la la la.
The heat of
Let's get into some cat talk, you bastards.
Yeah.
Brought
Why
you.
why
I'm
you so
sorry.
angry?
I apologize.
doing?
I
The
apologize.
Cats
You're
won?
100% right. I
What?
apologize. Start the music over again. Start it over. I apologize.
That was just aggressive for no
Very
reason.
aggressive.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He got you salty in other
He's
sports.
not wrong.
Let's
Okay.
try it again. Let's try it again.
Yeah.
Let's get to some cat talk, you rascals. Cat talk brought to us by Hollywood Kia. Hollywood Kia, the number one Kia dealer in all of Florida. Get the star treatment. We want to see you in a Hollywood Kia. Visit them online, hollywoodkia.com. If they missed it earlier, Marcos, can you give me Doug Plagans on the call yesterday? A real broadcaster, not like those charlatans on the worldwide leader. All of them hate the Cats. Messier. Here's Aaron Ekblad's game-tying goal.
Ekblad hands there to Reinhardt. Reinhardt just inside the line. One shot, save me, rebound, they score! And it's Aaron Ekblad crashing the net, and the Panthers have tied this game at 2 with 3:47 to play in the third. Aaron Ekblad picks up the rebound, and this game is tied.
There you go. Aaron Ekblad tied it on up. Thought that he had one earlier, but it was called offsides. Coach's challenge. I hate.
Oh, that was like how far back in the game can we go?
This is ridiculous. I hate, and I hate their coach. I hate.
Why don't we just have room for bad officiating anymore?
It was a very physical game. It's not. This has gotten to be a very nasty series. A very nasty series.
Somebody getting knocked out once a game.
Somebody. Yes, every game there's been somebody knocked out,
and somebody's wobbly on their skates.
This is from the NHL Players Safety. Florida's Niko Mikkola has been fined $5,000, the maximum allowable under the CBA for boarding Tampa Bay's Zemgus Girgensons.
No suspension?
We're waiting on Ekblad. Ekblad has a hearing today. This is from Chris Johnston. Aaron Ekblad will have a hearing from the NFL Safety Board for his forearm shiver on Brandon Hagel last night. I love the term forearm shiver.
Yeah, it was 2-1 filthy.
Hey.
That's how we like it. And
that's how we like it, Nico.
I got to tell you.
I'm a big fan of Nico's. Whether they got
did it really look like he hit him that hard?
Who, Ekblad?
Yeah.
I thought in real, you know what? When you slow it down, it looked bad. But I thought
it looked like he was trying to push him.
Like when I watched his hit, and then I watched the Kachuk hit from the day before that, and they were all outraged for. I was like, okay, but that wasn't what they did to Barkov, where it was like freight train, take out Alexander Barkov. He's not even looking. Like it was a well-timed boom. I felt the same way with the Sam Bennett sucker punch last year.
Right.
Well timed. Sometimes it's timing, not power.
Oh God.
What? Am I being unreasonable?
No, but I do think if it was the other way, you'd probably you know.
Maybe.
See, that's the
Maybe,
part. That's the thing that gets confusing with this clown.
What? Don't call me a clown.
Because if it was the other way, you'd want him taken off in handcuffs.
Schmieden says 5K being the max fine is adorable. It's so hockey.
Right? It's so hockey, right?
Nico's like,
why don't you just like take his lunch ticket? Like it's the same thing. Although the Panthers do have delicious lunch.
I think Niko Mikkola gives him 10,000. They're like, what's this for, Nico? He goes,
next time.
For the next time.
What if you said like Randy Moss, straight cash, homie?
Woo-hoo.
Randy, wait.
You think they give
Randy got fined 10 grand for fake mooning?
Wow.
This guy almost took somebody finish him.
Dude, he was like, you taste that ice. You taste it. He like rubbed his nose.
And he
in the
got
ice.
half of that. Like Randy was just being funny.
Wow. What so do they take that right out of the paycheck? Is that how that works usually?
Yeah.
Just gone. What about in the playoffs? The playoffs, do you get paid? Do you get paychecks in the playoffs?
Nope. That's the thing people don't understand.
So how does that
You're
work?
in the playoffs, you get your share after the playoffs, all the playoffs in. So
then if he wins, whatever his share is, 5,000 is gonna be taken out of that share.
yeah. because you're not even getting a check in the playoffs.
Ridiculous.
So a lot of these guys, so say for example, guys in basketball making $500,000 a check, right? 40, 50 million. So that's 500,000 a check. Playoffs start, you don't get a check.
What if, all right,
Mhm.
you put the gorilla on ice and I got 100 Niko Mikkolas?
Oh, come on.
Skates?
They get skates. The gorilla does not.
What?
I mean, there's no gorilla
He get his
size ice
ass
skate.
kicked.
The gorilla?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Although I will say this, bottom of his feet, leather.
What does that mean for ice?
I don't know how. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't quite thought it out. But you I mean,
Do they
here's the thing, though.
This.
If you have a skater, you have blades. Technically, that's a weapon.
6'6", but what is that with skates? So if he's 6, what is he on skates? Does that make him
7
like
foot?
6'8"?
7 foot skates are like that.
Tall, right?
5 inch. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I found out information about the fines.
What's that?
By the way, can add up to 5 inches. But hockey skates are 1 to 1. Yeah, they can add up to 5 inches. Is a blade. But now, as far as the fines that you were mentioning before, Leroy is correct. That there is no playoff pay, so they have to pay those out of pocket.
Jeez.
No. They
It
take
says
it.
players. Well, during the regular.
What happens
season,
if they don't? Like, do they send like somebody knocking on your door? Because imagine the guy who's got to knock on Niko Mikkola's door. He goes, "What can I help you with?"
No, I'm guessing they
collect
just
your fine, Mr. Mikkola.
They just take it out of his cut, or take it, or retroactive to next year as soon as you get your first check.
I think Paul Maurice sends it in. He goes, "I got this one."
Why? He makes more than Paul Maurice.
Just because out of principle. That's what Paul Maurice likes. You know, Paul Maurice is like, look, what they did to Barkov, Leroy. First of all, they already hated each other as it was. You didn't need a reason, but you gave the worst reason, which is you touched our captain.
Yep.
And the Panthers have been leveling them. And all I've heard is
Crying.
pearl clutching from everybody with Tampa. I didn't hear half of this when it came to Barkov. Now, I understand Hagel was suspended. I understand the league stepped in. I'm talking about media outrage. And let me tell you something. Leroy, wait until it's the Leafs. Wait until it's the Leafs. When we do this to the Leafs, oh my God. You thought tensions between America and Canada were already high. Wait till they see what the Panthers do to the Leafs.
Heavens to Betsy.
Can I get Paul Maurice on the Ekblad hit yesterday? It was Paul Maurice on that.
I don't know how well you saw it live. I'm wondering if you saw it, but his hit on Hagel, your thoughts on that? And
yeah, I think I want to be consistent with what I've said, on the Hagel. I saw it. I've seen it before. Saw it last year. And then we'll all coach, the players will play, the refs will make the calls, and the league will do what they with it. So I just want to be. I don't want to use this platform to start making my case on this. Everybody's got a job to do. I'll stay in my lane.
Classic, hard to say. That's why he's the best.
It's an interesting time to mind your business, Paul Maurice.
Let me just say, can we just get, let's be honest about Paul Maurice. Leroy, never a man short on words or explanations of things.
Right.
And now he wants to be like, I think I'm going to sit this one out. This isn't the platform for that. It's not.
I think he's trying to say, I'm not going to say nothing because this series ain't over.
Yeah.
And there's probably going to be a lot more of this going on.
Take a break. More to come here on the show. We'll mix things up on the other side. All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. Marlins are back at it tonight, 10-10 first pitch against the LA Dodgers. They lost yesterday, came back. They were down 5-0. Dane Myers hit a grand slam to bring them back.
Whoa.
They went up in extra innings, but then they gave up 2 in the bottom of the 10th.
How's old Merv doing? Did he play?
Merv.
He got. I think he was the one who got pinch hit for when the grand slam was hit.
Okay.
First for I think for Ramirez, but it's okay. He's still hitting like 400.
Look at that.
Love this guy.
Look at that.
I don't know what to do with my hands. Tell you what, pretty strange the Marlins hit. I know it sounds like a ridiculous thing because they're a baseball team, but they put up runs. It's very odd. I don't know. It's very unfamiliar territory, Leroy. Now, they haven't been very good at the pitching thing.
Which is weird because we always thought the pitching would be there, no hitting.
Right. Although Yuri Perez started his rehab assignments, which is exciting.
Dude, I'm so sick of hearing that with them.
Why? What do you mean?
That's all we hear is, so and
But Ryan Weather, but he did.
I know.
We're going to start getting some reinforcements.
I know. I think Sandy had his kid, so he's getting acclimated to that. That's a transition there.
Needs more sleep. You think on the road he'll do better?
Yeah, I do.
He'll give Ohtani the business tonight.
I don't, dude. Have we learned that nobody gives Ohtani the business? He can hit a home run off anybody.
I kind of want to go see him next week.
I know.
He's in town.
So, not
like we got basketball to watch.
You can't get no tickets for this or the Yankees.
You think it's going to be that sold out for him? For Ohtani?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like sold out. So I
wanna
think it'll be a
see
nice
Shohei.
crowd. It'll be a nice crowd, but I don't think it's going to be like
Everybody
sold out.
wants to see Shohei.
Nah, 15,000 at the
I
most.
really don't think
15,000
For a month. It was weekend, baby. But it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
all night games.
No, one's an afternoon.
What was this afternoon?
4:40.
So we ought to maybe. So is I'd say they get more than 25 for each one of those.
Really?
Shohei, dude.
All right. Maybe.
That's like, come on. That's like seeing a Yeti. That's like going in the woods and seeing a Yeti.
See Schmieden.
That's how unique he is.
Schmieden says maybe Sandy can serve his kids some of these meatballs he's dishing out. Let's get to the mixed bag, huh?
Let's do it.
The mixed bag is brought to you by my broken heart.
Oh. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry not only because of what the Heat did, but also because I'm probably gonna get you pissed off again with this mixed bag.
All right.
Let's get this out of the way. Our boy Erik Spoelstra yesterday had a bunch of spoisms on his way out.
It's not called a spoism when you're losing. It's just called talk.
It's called a noism.
Well, of course, Mr. Spoelstra was looking at the bright side of things.
Beautiful things on the other side.
These kinds of losses motivate, according to Erik Spoelstra. This is the Heat head.
I already have the competitive character, but these kind of losses, and getting swept, it can motivate you. Those guys have great competitive character, and a drive. This league is tough. You got to be about it. Those two guys are about it, and it's not like a bunch of teams have figured it out. I'm looking around, and it's like every playoff series is there's a lot of parity right now. This is embarrassing, but there's going to be a bunch of teams that are out like with us too, that have big aspirations.
Yeah, we're losers, but there's going to be other losers.
But they'll get to work. I just mentioned Tyler, but Bam, is the ultimate winner. You know, he's going to figure it out too, and collectively when we get, you know, back together, you know, these lessons for the young guys that hadn't experienced in this in the two play-ins in this playoff series.
Tap out. You know what? Like them, I tap out. Enough. I can't take anymore. It's enough.
It's fair. You quit on that cut there.
What else do I? What kind of explanation is that? We lost, but other teams are going to lose.
Yeah,
Congrats.
we're not the only ones who are losing right
We
now.
won't be alone. Look
That's
at us.
like saying,
we're the Grizzlies.
why did you do that? Jimmy did it too.
Mhm.
Listen,
He's doing all his old relationship tricks, though. You know, it's
I
annoying.
would say this, and I'm gonna tell you firsthand. I had a season so bad that when I got done with the season, I had to go to jail. I did. I did. I got 3 days in jail for a speed ticket. And it was so bad, and our team played so bad, they came and met me at the tarmac. I'm like, you swear that I was going to do a 10-year stint.
Well, don't forget, you got it for a bad attitude, too.
But I'm saying that warranted being picked up at the tarmac to make sure I wasn't going to make a run for it?
We got a runner.
Yeah.
Very clearly, we're being made an example.
I wasn't going to jail. I went to Barney Fife jail.
Did you take the cup and go?
No, you just like the phone. I was like, hey, can I use the phone? Yeah, they just put the phone in your cell. Right? I just talked on the phone. I told the dude when I got there, because he was doing weekend jail. Like, it's a weird thing they had in Ohio.
Julio Gonzalez on the YouTube chat says, it's not about the sweep only. It's about the last 3 years getting worse while the Celtics, Cavs, Knicks, and even Pacers get better. Unwatchable small ball.
Can I tell you why? And if you look at what transpired, let's pick Boston, okay? They got their two guys, and they played together for like 3 years before they put pieces around them and got it going, right? They brought some young talent, some old talent, made some trades, all guys that fit their system. If you look at what Cleveland did, they got their guy in Spider. They got some young talent. They went through their lumps, and now they're here, right? The problem that I have with the Heat is, when are they ever going to be here? Because you never know what you have. Soon as your young guys start struggling, which they do because they're all under 25, we get rid of them or trade them for an old guy.
Well, I mean, like every team you mentioned, except for Boston, because Danny Ainge made the Nets trade. I mean, really, they had some poopers in there to get top of the line picks. Like Evan Mobley was what, the second pick in the draft?
Yeah, but then but again, it's all in finding out what you have, right? Like,
it's finding out what you have, but it's also a bigger ask of Adam Simon to go find gems lower in the draft than it is to get top 5 guys. Like, 2 of their starters in Garland and Mobley are top 5 picks.
Yeah, and then with
Indiana's really
Baltimore. I'm sorry, with Boston, it was a trade. They didn't have their own
Boston,
pick. It was somebody else's.
It was
pick.
the Nets pick.
Right. We don't even have a player that would garner that.
No.
So
maybe Bam. I don't know what Bam fetches.
But Bam ain't gonna go to a team that's gonna end up with the top 5 pick.
Probably not.
Right? He's Bam is the icing on the cake kind of guy. Right? That guy that kind of gets you over the hump. Right? We're not trading.
The thought would be, you would just have an arsenal of whatever you would, and then you're gonna stink, and your own pick is gonna be the top of the line pick.
Here's the problem though. Who are you gonna trade on this team to a team that's gonna end up being so bad?
You don't. You just trade him, and you're bad,
and you end up
with the hot pick.
I don't
see. Like the Heat had a pivot point this year after losing 10 in a row, where they could have just like put it in the toilet.
They wore it as pride to make the play.
And then they were like
losing 10.
And then they lose 10 in a row, and only in their fashion, they're like, guess what? 6-game winning streak. Like, okay. It's like, you know, it was so, you know, Jekyll and Hyde. And I know, like, Dave South saying, well, only they had a lottery pick. Yeah, but you need a lottery pick that you have a legit chance to be top 4.
Right.
What you only would have done is if you wanted to gone to that losing streak and would have kept losing and would have shut Bam down.
I'm not for nothing. I'm always gonna not be a fan of losing.
Yeah,
like that.
they're not.
And,
I mean,
and let me
they're
tell
not,
you,
but every team that's, you know, that's mentioned, especially Cleveland. Yes, Cleveland also then made the home run move for Spida, but they did it based on having some, you know, prestige young talent
when
around
good
it.
teams get a top pick like that, it usually always ends up from a trade. Right? It's never their pick. They always end up with somebody else.
OKC's
well,
basically
OKC
built
was
on.
bad for what?
Yes, they were. They
Right.
were. Yes, they were.
So,
But a lot of the team, Houston stinkers.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
the Warriors. By the way, the Warriors did it. They were just bad at it. They took James Wiseman.
Yeah, true.
Like,
where is he now?
I want to say he's a Piston.
No,
Nah,
he don't play. He ain't a Piston.
I don't know. He doesn't play.
He doesn't.
I don't know where but that's the last I recall of James Wiseman. He was a Piston.
They say he last played for the Pacers.
Whew, I don't remember that.
Could you imagine making that trade?
The Pacers really did it.
I mean, the last team that we can think of firsthand that's finally starting to turn around, Detroit.
Yes,
but they were god awful bad for a long time.
For sure.
I don't think that, like, here.
And this is where
I'm gonna be fair to the organization and what has happened in this town. If they tried to do something like that, fans would go crazy. Fans don't care about all that setting up for the future. They don't. And that's the problem. You also got to know where you are, right? Detroit basketball, right?
Yeah, and that building was empty. I mean, they would say they'd go there, there'd be nobody there.
Exactly.
No, you would go through lean years of that building being half empty.
Exactly.
Sure.
So my question is I hate the fact that fans now are saying, why didn't they just not make the playoffs and just get a better pick? When if they had done that, you would be miserable and wouldn't go to the games.
I feel miserable right now.
I'm miserable. Yes, I am. Because you know why? Because the Heat were a 10th seed. Okay? Like, you had to pull heroics just to get into.
Well, don't worry, because Spo told me he enjoyed the plane ride to Cleveland after reading the Bulls and Hawks. So
yeah, all right. Can we just not, like? Can we just?
I have something else I want to talk about besides the Heat. I found interesting, but we gotta take a break. I'll get to it next.
Why do you do that?
All right, welcome back. Tobin and Leroy back with you here. 560 WQAM.
Your computer.
Yeah, sorry, I was listening to something during the break. You don't even have your headphones on.
But I don't
And
need
you were
my
late.
headphones to
And your
hear
mic's
you guys talk.
all right.
Like if I don't have my headphones on, I don't mean I can't hear you.
Why are you lashing out today, man?
I'm not lashing out. You're the one
today.
lashing
No,
out.
I don't think I am. I
Dude,
think I've been very
You've been
even
on the
keeled
heater
today.
today.
I'll tell you who wasn't on the heater.
83 points.
The Heat.
Dude, think about this. I've been chewing on this since I said it yesterday. The Heat would have lost by 20 if the Cavs would have just left after the third quarter.
That's true.
Because they didn't score. They were at 100 and something after the third quarter.
Get to the road to repeat here, which is brought to us by our friends over at Celsius. Hockey fans, don't sit this one out when it's game time. Make Celsius a party play and get that energy up. Game day is fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks, the official energy drink of
your Florida Panthers.
Panthers win 4-2. Anton Lundell, goal and an assist. Aaron Ekblad, welcome back. He scored the game tire. Seth Jones, the game go-ahead. And they were 11 seconds apart. Panthers are now up 3-1 in that series. Game 5 is tomorrow. Get your top hats and monocles ready. Marlins will be back at it tonight, taking on the Dodgers. Game 2 of their series. And Sandman on the hill today. 10-10 is your first pitch. The Warriors go up 3-1 on the Rockets, 109-106. If your night wasn't bad enough, Jimmy Butler went playoff Jimmy, and he was their leading scorer, and he said he got his joy back.
Yeah, that was a knife in the ribs.
Why?
If I could, because we already got beat by 55, dude. Now
No,
see here,
but
Jimmy Butler.
but I'm
It's
saying,
not
like,
basketball again.
why don't? Here's why
I
I
wish
can
him
move
no
on.
success.
Here's why I can move on. Because he was never going to be that player here again.
That hurts.
He told you that.
Yeah, well, I told them not to do that.
Okay.
But what do I know? Keep our mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
But enough. We've dwelled on the basketball enough. I want to get to this. This happened over the weekend. Dolphins had their draft. Got a bit of an awkward situation, it appears, with the coach and Jalen Ramsey. This was reported upon. And something happened with Mike McDaniel that was a little bit shocking. He didn't have much to say about something.
What?
Which is not like Mike McDaniel.
That's a dead giveaway.
He normally has everything to say about everything.
Giveaway.
He was asked about his relationship with Jalen Ramsey at one of their draft press conferences. They had a billion of them. And this is what he didn't have to say about it.
We've peppered Chris with a bunch of Jalen Ramsey questions, but Mike, can I ask you at the end there, what was your relationship like with him before this mutual decision to part ways?
I think, speaking on, the relationship with Jalen on this forum, takes kind of undercuts what I think is important today, which is we've added a class and are continuing to add new players to 2025 Dolphins. And I think, beyond that, it wouldn't do justice to, these draft picks and what we're trying to do today.
Wow, that was actually pretty concise for him.
It was, but even then, all that was say no comment.
Pretty much.
So why didn't he just?
I don't want to talk about it. We're here welcoming in a draft class.
So
and,
we should call him Coach Filibuster.
It undermines my
words. Here are words about me not wanting to talk about how Jalen Ramsey and I hate each other's guts now.
Back in the day, it's just like, shut up, dude. Just get to the point. I've had.
How do they
enough.
hate each other now?
I don't understand.
What happened?
I've been seeing a lot of bad things about this whole culture in Miami and how we're soft, and apparently that's
Here's the problem. Okay. The only person that needs to adjust in that whole building is Mike McDaniel. And I know all the offenses that he has had before now have prided themselves on being physical up front. And I don't know why it hasn't been that way. Maybe it's because, and here's what coaches do. sometimes they overcoach the situation. So maybe he's like, yeah, this offensive line, we're not very good up the middle. Let's run outside. Right? To the detriment of the team because everybody knows where you're running.
Yeah.
But if you look at the offenses that they have run, when you go to Atlanta, when you go to San Fran, and here, even when he was in Cleveland, very, very physical up front.
Okay, but take that aside.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a guy who's regarded as a player's coach, like, whatever you want to say about Mike McDaniel, whatever he's got to adjust to, the one thing that he's been looked upon is that he's a player's guy. And everybody has said, love his personality. Free agents have said, one of the reasons I wanted to come here was enthusiastic.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Ramsey was thought of as one of those guys. They would be side by side in all these camps. And now it's to the where the relationship is just like, because can't play for him
because he seems soft. There's no accountability to anybody else on the team.
That's crazy.
You can't, if the coach doesn't have accountability, the players can't. The leaders of the team can't hold anybody accountable. Now, just look at a couple of situations.
Why can't he tell Jalen I can change?
Here's why. I'm going to say this, and I'm not pointing any fingers at anybody, okay? Somebody like Jalen looks at the team and sees how certain people are being treated or what certain people get away with.
Which I'd imagine he's one of them, though.
And that behavior isn't going to change. Do you? You don't know that.
I would imagine so.
I don't think
if it's a team of special treatment, I would imagine Jalen Ramsey is one of those guys.
But I don't think you can be a guy that complains about people being soft and light on players, right? If you're one of those guys, it would seem hypocritical.
Oh, yeah. A lot of stars are always accountable of people's situations.
I'm just saying. It would seem hypocritical.
Oh, yeah, it would be.
Right. But I would say this. I think that Jalen Ramsey plays a certain way. He's a level of physical that he thought the team should be. And he wonders whether the team could be that.
I get it.
Okay.
But, this is one of those. I mean, I don't know if like having the whole do-si-do of the defensive coordinators the last 2 years annoyed him. Like
Could be.
Mike McDaniel didn't step in with the Vic Fangio thing.
Could be.
I don't know. But I just find this is crazy because honestly, what the best thing is for the Dolphins is for Jalen Ramsey. Because Jalen Ramsey, you're not getting money relief this year. You paid him.
Right.
And to be at a point of a very obvious need the Dolphins have, and to be at a point where it's irreparably broken is pretty wild to me, because I thought this was supposed to be one of the calling cards of your coach who, we do have questions about the offense that he runs. But one thing that it's supposed to be is he's a player's guy.
It's weird that we talk about the offense that he runs when that is one of the most normally physical run offenses in the league.
We got Big Jonah now, who's not Eichenberg.
You're still going to keep Eichenberg. You know why, right? I told you why.
He's got pictures.
Multiple positions.
Multiple terrible positions. What?
He's a backup.
He's one snap away from not being a backup. I'd rather him not be on the roster.
Really?
It's too tempting.
What do you mean?
Because you want to know why?
He's a backup.
One bad thing happens. What does Spo do?
He's
Who
a
does he go
backup.
to?
The wily
Slow-mo.
vet.
Boom. Won't you feel a little bit more relief if he wasn't there?
No, I like slow-mo.
Do you?
Yeah.
You seem to make fun of him a lot.
I do. I mean, your answer to combat Evan Mobley and was it Jaron Jackson? Not Jaron Jackson.
Jared Allen.
Jared Allen can't be slow-mo.
It
They
can't
run
be.
around him like, did you see him dribbling the ball down the floor? I'm surprised they didn't take his lunch money.
Oh my God. Dribble's so weird.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The ball, he's 6'10" and the ball's eye level.
How has he made it this long?
I don't know. Crafty veteran.
He is crafty.
Yeah, we don't need Crafty. We need buckets.
Take a break. More to come here on the show. Back after this.
WQAM.
All right, welcome back, everybody. If you guys want to have some fun talking sports with us, come on out to WQAM's Whiskey Stars and Cigars, presented by Edmore Sawgrass Auto Mall. It's coming back Friday, May 9th at Tabacon at Plantation Walk. Talk sports unfiltered with the WQAM staff. Enjoy a whiskey and cigar from Drew Estate. No registration is needed. Just stop on by Whiskey Stars and Cigars at Tabacon at Plantation Walk. It's free. It's presented by Edmore Sawgrass Auto Mall. Your 2024 dealer of the year, 22 acres of new and pre-owned Chevys, Cadillacs, and Buicks. Visit them online at edmoresawgrass.com. Must be 21 or over to attend. Yes, Leroy.
I'm just telling you guys right now, come hang out. Might be a little talky talk.
Can you talk over at the Windowplex? We need a weather update.
All right.
Brought to you by the Demesman and Dover Law Firm, youraccidentattorneys.com. Free consultations 24/7. Call them up at 866-954-MORE.
Demesman and Dover, one big happy family. Woo!
Yeah.
Over here by these waters, it's looking mostly cloudy, right? Winds are coming out of the east at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Also, I can tell which way the wind's blowing because they're doing the roof over there, and the smoke is blowing left to right.
Roof's on fire.
And I would say it's about 80, 85 degrees, maybe warming up in the next couple of days. And I'm just noticing something I probably shouldn't be seeing.
Go ahead. So what you have to say?
Who's walking?
2 candied yams in a jumper.
Lunch is over. You could
coming across the street.
Speaking of Free Willy.
Hey. Hey.
How you do, Frog Boy?
She gonna have to put some ointment on her thighs.
Leroy.
She got that chafing?
Road rash.
That's some serious stuff, okay?
The Heat played like thigh chafe yesterday.
Oh, gosh. I would rather my thighs shave every day than to watch
Why
them.
you call thigh chafe?
Need some baby powder on them thighs.
Some tenactin, fast acting tenactin.
Man, did you guys see this this interview with Bill Belichick and his girlfriend?
No, what happened? I heard.
I saw a
like,
headline. But
did she like come in and
She's like, she's basically like his
secretary?
handler. Like, yeah, but almost like, but she's bossy.
She's gonna kill him.
I don't know if she is. He looks happy.
No, he does
Listen,
look happy.
Let me
hey,
tell you something about Bill Belichick.
You know what the bully likes? The bully likes every time getting bullied.
That's crazy.
So he's been barking orders in his life for 1 million years. And now
This
he's
is
getting-
ridiculous, though.
wow.
It's
Hey,
kinda weird.
wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
That face actually kind of scares me.
Bill, you're my guy. I have never said one bad thing about you. Okay?
You love him.
Love him. What he has done in football is amazing. I don't care what people think. Dude, what's up with that shirt?
He's got a
Yeah,
comment.
like,
Looks like
Why
I
does
don't
it
know
look
what
why
comedy
does it
was.
look like you got in a knife fight right before you got on air?
This was CBS.
Like he was trying to dodge ninja stars.
This was CBS News interviewing Bill Belichick.
Do you feel like you were treated with dignity and respect when you were let go by Robert Kraft?
Yeah, well, it was a mutual decision for us to part ways.
He said fired.
It was a mutual decision.
The other change for Belichick is 24-year-old Jordon Hudson, his creative muse, as he writes in his book.
Make sure that that's the
Jordon was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
How did you guys meet?
not talking about this.
No?
No.
It's a topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on. Though
There you go. So that was like the
What are you hiding?
But this is the thing. So there was more stuff coming out from TMZ about this interview because that was like obviously the part that goes viral. But apparently, like she did this multiple times during the interview, and according to sources, said this is from TMZ. We're told outside of the baffling moment that made the final edit, there were numerous other instances of Hudson butting in, even when the legendary coach was answering questions about football. She would stop and correct him. Our sources say Belichick only arrived at the interview with Hudson. No one from the publishing company. He's published a book he's promoting. The University of North Carolina and other reps were with him, which is a bit of a head scratch to the CBS producers. At one point, the Q&A, Hudson got so heated, she stood up and walked out and wanted Bill Belichick to follow. It's unclear if the coach agreed, but the blow-up delayed the whole interview about a half hour. We're told once things calmed down, the reporter, who was spooked by the whole encounter, elected to wrap things up quickly and end the awkward experience.
You know what?
I don't like that. I would say this is that who cares?
What?
Well, I'll tell you who cares.
Who
Actually,
cares? Who cares how they met? Who cares? Whatever.
Nah, I need to know.
Nobody knows what their relationship is other than them two, and if they're fine with it, the hell with everybody.
Well, this is what else is here because his employer apparently is a little bit concerned about it.
North Carolina.
It says, as for the dumpster fire, how the dumpster fire got edited, we're told higher ups at CBS News and Sports had got involved to figure out how to salvage it. While a second interview was scheduled to go down at a later time, but was ultimately scrapped. The whole ordeal isn't sitting well with Belichick's employers. We're told the folks at UNC are now concerned about Hudson's influence on Belichick's tenure as the head coach of Chapel Hill, especially with her essentially taking a role as his manager. As a source put it, quote, there's a growing sense this could become a problem.
Yeah, he ain't doing nothing. But he's a football coach. Who cares about the other stuff?
She's already, because football hasn't been played, so of course she hasn't done anything with the football.
Exactly.
But she's already sinking her claws into this, man.
You don't know what their relationship is.
Bill,
I learned this a long time ago. When what was the name? Lyle Levitz ended up with Julia Roberts. I'm like, okay, you don't know what their relationship is, right? Because that's an ugly dude. I'm gonna just put that out.
Obviously, she hasn't updated his fashion because it looks like rats ate his sweatshirt.
But that's again.
I thought that was like a Kanye West sweater.
Just because you don't understand what they got going on doesn't mean something's wrong.
But
I don't think it's the concern of the relationship. I think it's the concern of her butting herself into his business.
But guess what? And if there's a problem with that, he'll deal with it.
Well, it doesn't sound like he did deal with it. It sounds like she dealt with it.
Okay. Then that means he don't have a problem with it.
I don't think this is the same.
Who cares what we think? All we need to know is it affecting his ability to coach?
We don't know yet.
It's going against his like everything that he stands for.
Of course.
He doesn't want to stand with diva wide receivers, yet he has a momager on him who's essentially
a momager.
A momager.
That's like a juice box.
I'm telling you, he's treating her, or she's treating him like one of those cheer bombs. Like it really is a weird scenario.
It's not really a good look when you're standing right next to him during an interview and telling him what to do.
We're not going to answer that.
It's also
And cutting into
I think the thing that's weird. Well, I'll tell you what I find weird about it, Leroy, is like Bill's already like Bill is he's got a black belt in this himself. Like nobody's better at shooting down the media. So to see somebody kind of hold his hand into it, it's a bit weird. Like normally he seemed fine. He's like, I'll talk whatever. He's like, because he was fine with just like, oh, I'll shoot it down. Hey, no. Belichick never needed that. I bet the easiest job in the world is being the Patriots PR agent.
Here's the
because Bill Belichick just shoots down everything. He's on to Cincinnati.
But here's the crazy thing about it. I don't know why he needed assistance, because the first part of that question, when they talked about him and how he left
New
England,
the Kraft thing, yeah,
he went full Bill Belichick on the situation.
Exactly.
Which is exactly why it's
Right.
wrong.
So why all of a sudden did he need assistance?
That's what's weird about it.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what's weird about it.
So here's what I would say.
What is she hiding?
Here's what I would say.
Where do they meet? Chuck E. Cheese.
There'll be a conversation one way or another. Here's what I think. I think if she's there in that capacity to do those things, is because he's old as hell.
He is old as hell.
Right. And the only question that you should have is if she has to be there in that capacity, is he going to be able to do his job? You see what I'm saying?
This man needs September 1st against TCU so bad.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
We're on to the Horned Frogs.
The Horned Frogs.
Sounds like he is a horny frog.
Hey, listen, thanks for the no one.
Take a break. The damage is done, my friend. Is next.
The heat of bed.
gone, gone, the damage done.
All right, welcome back. Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQAM. Final segment of the show. We'll close it out the only way we know how, with a little game we like to call The Damage is Done, my friend. Go around the room, is done, my friend. Say where the damage has been done. I got to be honest with you, I could pick so many people from the Miami Heat. I really could. But that's the easy way out. Because this whole show's kind of been damages done on them. Instead, I'd like to go to John Cooper, head coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning. I refer to him as Coach Pooper.
Pooper.
If you guys missed it yesterday, this was him after Hagel took another hit. He's not going to play in Game 5, by the way. They just announced it. And
so do you mean there's ramifications coming down to?
Oh, he got the ramifications because he threw first blow. He's the one who took out Barkey.
Right.
So, head on a swivel.
Like,
we got our revenge.
It's getting tiresome.
That's how it's going to go,
answering
dude.
questions about a hit every single game. So, I'll ask you. You asked me the question. Why are you asking me the question? Do you have anything to say about it? Oh, well, but, if anybody in here has something, stand up and let me know. All right, let's move on.
It's Coach Pooper.
Dude,
Pooping his pants.
Colic.
Like, what just happened?
He's got colic.
He's got colic. So I would have to say to you, Coach Pooper, the damage is done, my friend. You guys started it. Ekblad finished it.
Damage is done.
You want to keep it going. You want to poke the bear. You want to be with the bullies. You better keep your head on a swivel. Don't have just one guy. We got waves of guys who will stand up for each other. Damage is done.
That actually kind of bleeds into my damages.
Damage is
Well,
done.
okay, Jennifer.
Can I just go
Yeah,
next?
go ahead.
Okay, cool. So the second you challenged the goal that Aaron Ekblad did, the damage was done because you activated him after that.
Damage is done.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Like with how long can you go before you can review? They were almost in the locker room because the period was almost over.
Yeah.
How far back can we go?
They reviewed it right after.
They added 41 seconds to the game. That's not right after.
Well, I'm thinking you probably have to go from where the offsides was. All right.
Okay. My damage is done. Goes to you.
Why?
Because before last week, you put all of these expectations on the Heat and what they were going to do and how they were going to do it. Okay? And you did this all with a team that was 5 games under 500. How do you think a team with 5 games under 500 is going to play?
You told me playing was playing.
Playing is playing.
So I might as well have the expectations. I've seen a playing team.
You
go
had
to
the
finals.
huh?
I've seen a playing team go to the finals.
That's
According-
why my damage is done.
According to your rules.
It's an anomaly. There's anomalies in sports,
Okay.
right? We saw 2 of them yesterday. You know what that was? Both teams scored 2 goals in 11 seconds. Has that ever happened before? No. So you think it can happen again? So if the Panthers are down by 1 goal with 30 seconds left, you're going to just assume, they can just score 2 goals.
I always think the Panthers can score 2 goals.
Not in 11 seconds, dude. That doesn't happen.
I mean, not with 11 seconds left in the game. I don't like how you always blame me. I feel like I've been your damage is done for like 4 weeks running.
Because you won't stop.
Damage is done, my friend.
What do you want me to do?
Take a break and just stop.
You just want me to sit here and be like,
no,
just try hard, guys.
No, because you got Zion.
It'd be fun.
Morant.
Well, that'd be fun too. Dunks.
Yeah, but he dunked one time and he's out for 3 weeks.
That's a risk. Better than Wiggins, who does nothing and then is out for 3 weeks.
I know. I have a hard time with guys that play the game, finish a game, and then miss a month. Like, how hurt were you? You finished the game. Anyway, so my damage is done because you put false hopes, right? You have false expectations, right? And you make me look bad and make me look like a hater when I say, what are you talking about, dude?
Stand on your own takes. Like, if you want to be a hater, you're a hater.
I'm not a hater because I say a team that's 5 games under 500 ain't going to win the championship. I'm being a hater.
You were a hater when they went to the finals, too. You're like, that was an analysis. You just shouted Jim VP and put your hands away. When I was right. I was right. You wouldn't even give me credit then because you said it was a stupid reason.
It was.
Well, it doesn't matter. I was still right.
So, you admit you were wrong this year?
About what? About what?
Really? You say this
about what?
Every year
Specifically,
what was the same thing? And now he's going to say about what? Did you think that he were going to win this series?
No.
Tobin!
I got to keep up for appearances, baby.
Hey, -1 for straight out lying.
Wow.
You
-1 for lying.
You're not going to see me scared.
I'm not saying you're scared. You understand that you picked a team 5 games under 500 to be the team that won 60-plus games.
When did I pick that? Find it on the record. Find it.
See,
when did I pick that? Where did I pick it?
Okay,
Find
you did.
it.
You did.
do a radio show with me every day. Find it.
Okay. All right. Here we go. You do this every year.
I don't do anything.
Find the tape where I
Find
said
it.
this. There. This team had 25 more wins. What did you think was going to happen?
I thought they'd be a little spunkier. 5, maybe 6. You know. Instead, they embarrassed themselves and disgraced themselves.
No.
The most embarrassing.
They
legit, Leroy, in the history of basketball. There's never been a margin of defeat in a series bigger than this one.
Yeah, okay. But when I say that about the other way, about how it's very rare for a team to win.
You didn't say that.
I said this year was an anomaly when they went to the finals.
That was 2 years ago.
But did I not say that? From the play-in to the finals?
Yeah, but I
or from
didn't
the
say
8 seed to the finals?
Series.
Huh?
I didn't say they were going to win the series. Find it.
Dude. You know,
find it.
You know, you do this all the time when you say stuff and then you say, go find it.
If I say something that's so
ridiculous, you do it every day.
Tell Frog Boy, mark it down, save that.
We don't have, if we played,
plenty of data.
If we played, they just came from IT and said, stop recording Tobin's stuff because it's taking up all the space. You say something every day.
Convenient excuse.
Oh my God. Marcos, see, all right, go ahead, Marcos. What's your damage is done? Because this dude, why do you do this? Why do you do
I'm not going to put up for your slander.
Slate?
You lie.
Dude, once a day, you say something ridiculous.
All I said was, this is all I said.
Love it.
I said they win against the Bulls, then they beat the Hawks, and then if they would have won game 1, I told you, said, Leroy, I'm going to be insufferable on Monday. It didn't happen. And you somehow took
why were you still insufferable?
What?
Somehow you were still insufferable.
I don't think I was.
Did you say
They
8
lost
and
the-
6 at any point?
Nope.
Hmm.
Nope. I throwingly, jokingly away when we had Niko Mikkola on because he was a guest. I want to be polite. I said, with me, buddy, it's always Heat in 5. Well, Heat in 6. I wanted to make our guest feel well, but it wasn't an official
you did
pick.
say it.
It wasn't an official pick. Don't do that, Berter.
Wild Heat
Don't
Coyote.
do that.
Why? You know what it
Don't
is?
do that.
I think I'm Wild Heat Coyote. You know why?
Why's that?
Because every time you talk,
Will you just let
I
Frog
look
Boy-
down the tunnel with the lights.
Will you just let Frog Boy do his thing?
We have time.
My damage is you, Tobin. No, I'm kidding. My
Heat Nate comeback Cavs. We got to round them up because they 1, 2, 3 Cancun.
If somebody can find a pick, I'm all for it. Go do your digging. Do your worst.
Stop, dude.
Everything I say is on the record.
So you never. So you didn't pick a team at all. You didn't pick anybody in the series.
I didn't do a pick for the series. I thought it was pretty obvious what was going to happen. Not that, but I think we all knew it was going to happen.
So let me get this straight. For the first time in the history of the Miami Heat and us doing this show, you didn't pick a team in this series.
No, I didn't. I didn't. Did we do a pick segment?
I don't think so.
No, where is it? No, seriously. Okay. No, let me ask you. No. Seriously, I know you're laughing, but let's be real about it because you don't want to be a grown-up. What was your pick?
We didn't even talk about it.
Oh, okay.
But
I mean, that's what he said.
That's exactly what I said. You're boxed in.
No.
Okay.
Maybe you talked about it with Jay Crawford. I don't know.
Leroy.
Maybe you're mixing up intangibles. I don't know.
Wow. Oh my. Wait. Jay Crawford's an intangible? Wow.
Yeah, not you're thinking of Six Man.
Yeah, Jamal Crawford.
Yep.
So I was just. What? You know, it's just...
Anyway, Frog Boy, go already. Let's.
Yes, well, this isn't going to improve vibes around here, but at least we're going to hear somebody else complaining for once. Maybe Chris Greer can take a page out of this man's book and listen to a local radio show for once. Talking about Bills GM Brandon Beane.
Stupid name.
Stupid name for sure. Very emotional, sensitive man. This is him calling into a radio station that was very critical of the draft
he didn't
selection.
call in. He was scheduled to do an interview.
Oh, he has a show there.
Yeah.
Like on a weekly appearance?
Yeah.
It's the Brandon Beane Show.
Well, he is talking on air with the host of the
tables, the finest tables to jump through like a doofus.
Brandon Beane. Very
You
emotional.
guys were bitching in 2018 about Josh Allen. You guys wanted Josh Rosen, and now you guys are bitching that we don't have a receiver. I don't get it. We just scored 30 points in a row for 8 straight games. A year ago, I get you guys asking why we didn't have receivers, but I don't understand it now. You just saw us lead the league in points. Our job is to score points and win games. Where do we need to get better? Defense. We did that. So I get it. You got to have a show. You got to have something to bitch about, but bitching about wide receiver is one of the dumbest arguments I've heard.
Man, this guy's got to clean it up a little bit, huh?
Guy is a potty
Kids are listening.
mouth, dude.
So he's right. He boxed them in. Oh, you can't complain about receiver when you led the league in scoring.
I'm gonna be like, hey, what's this guy's name? Hey, Brandon Beane.
Yeah.
You don't think that's a little bit of an anomaly? Like you're sitting here, and all of a sudden, Josh Allen, you think, who's tired of running into people, would like somebody other than Mac Hollins to throw to on the outside? Call me crazy. Ego like that is what gets your quarterback hurt. We'll see.
See, I sympathize with you when the show started. Now I just want to kick your ass.
Why?
Because you've just been mean all day.
No way he's going to make it to 3 p.m.
Nope.
Damage is done.
I'm going to go downstairs, give me some food and a cocktail.
Oh.
Your third leading receiver being Dalton Kincaid with 400 yards. It's kind of a viable complaint.
That is crazy.
Like, I get it.
Still scored 30
I get
points.
it, but like, come on.
Bit of an anomaly. I agree.
And you guys, and here's the other thing. He's acting like having Stephon Diggs wasn't good for Josh Allen's career.
Yeah.
It did kind of turn around when he got there.
Did kind of turn around. So,
but last year,
obviously those guys aren't very
wasn't
good.
he an MVP last year?
Josh Allen, yeah, deserved.
Yeah, with who had wide receiver?
With
Mac
Khalil
Hollins.
Shakir and Keon Coleman.
Okay. So I guess it was.
Can that keep up?
No way.
I don't know.
I would say they'll add a receiver.
Why is that? He doesn't need them.
No,
Ego.
Oh my goodness.
It's the same thing as
you want to just end this like you're doing your best.
What's the problem?
You're batting the baby blues
because baby
he wants it to get to a point where I go over there and just punch him in the snot box.
Snot box.
That's what he calls
Trevor
it.
says, Tobin said this says the same thing about Tom Brady and his wideouts. Oh, yeah. You mean like that last year when he actually had wide receivers and led the league in passing with Godwin and Mike Evans? Yeah, he hated it. He hated life. Broke every record with Randy Moss. Yeah, they're useless. Anyway, what a show.
Dates up said that's a snot chest.
That's the show for today, everybody. Toodles!
Brooks Koepka.
What did I tell you about Aaron Ekblad? He's a good boy! He's a good boy, Jennifer!
Because who's going to get past Bob? Like, that's the real question.
This is a monumental moment in my life.
Middays.